starting pitching? It's going to be fun to watch. The NFL draft is just a few weeks away. Then it's on to mini camps. When it comes to Arizona sports, we are your home for all the news, info, and talk. We're 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every magical color except red money.
That's let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out, because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
AZ Preps 365, your source for all the news, info, highlights, and more. Athlete news and interviews. Talk with coaches. Keep you up to date with the changes, moves, upcoming events, and more. AZ Preps 365, Arizona's ultimate prep sports show. If you miss a minute, you miss a lot. AZ Preps 365, Saturday mornings 8 till 10 on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Hi, guys. Jeffrey O'Brien here. Have you ever gone to HarmonSolar.com? Well, you really need to, because everything you ever wanted to know about how solar power can save you big on your monthly electric bill is right there. It's online. Through your phone or through your computer, you can learn about tax credits, the equipment they use, look at how they do things for businesses as well as homeowners, see testimonials from happy customers, and I hear they got a pretty good podcast, too. Check it out. Go to HarmonSolar.com. That's HarmonSolar.com.
For many, a warm bed or meal is just the beginning. The Salvation Army provides people facing hardship with a hand up, not a handout. Food, shelter, clothing, rent and utilities assistance, and community resources are just some of the ways we help people get back on their feet. Learn how you can give hope to your neighbors in need. Visit SalvationArmySouthwest.org. Above all, love. Sponsored by the Salvation Army Southwest Division.
I'm Angela Gonzalez, reporting from Phoenix. We're talking with the community about Phoenix Police Department. Ma'am, what do you think?
Oh, I love them. They're our local heroes. We've had some problems around here with break-ins and people using drugs on the streets. The police work with our community to have a presence in our neighborhood and keep our streets safe.
Thank you, Phoenix Police.
Gracias a la Policía de Phoenix.
Thank you, Phoenix Police.
Rise to serve. Find more today at joinphxpd.com. Protect and serve with the elite.
Sponsored by the City of Phoenix.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. T&Cs apply.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM. Wherever you go, take us along. Listen to our live stream on our free Fanatic app. Download it today.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Monday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, Radio Pound, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside not Randy White. So, Harris, what you need to know, Harris Hicks in the control room, what you need to know is that every year at this time, Randy prepares for the NFL draft.
As one should.
Well, no, I don't think you understand. He doesn't prepare by doing a mock draft. He doesn't prepare by interviewing athletes. He doesn't prepare by going to where the draft is. He actually starts doing wind sprints in the backyard. He still thinks he's eligible for the NFL draft.
So he'll be sitting, of course, on his couch on draft night, with a phone right there.
Right.
But he, feels like this is probably the time to get ready. So that's why he's not in today. He's preparing for the possibility that he might be drafted by the Arizona Cardinals.
I mean, once they get their hands, those scouts get their hands on that middle school flag football tape, Jeffrey, you have to think the Cardinals pulled the trigger, right?
Well, that's why he's out there right now. He puts in the work. He's putting in the work.
He's putting in the work, and that's who Randy is, right? He's a character guy. That's what he brings.
He won't be with us today, and Ralph said he might come by tomorrow and hang out if Randy is still doing wind sprints in the backyard. But today we, of course, here in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale, we start the show with Mike Budenholzer. He got gacked. He's gone.
Right.
He has been fired today, and one season seems to be about the longest tenure a Suns coach can get these years. So 3 in a row, right? Bam, bam, bam. Here we are, coachless yet again.
Yet again, Jeffrey. And I mean, the thing about the Suns is they had 35 lineup changes this season, most in the NBA. So clearly,
injury played a lot into that, though, too.
Right. But what else played into it was the fact that nothing was working. Nothing essentially was working. I think it falls a lot on the roster, but I think Budenholzer could have done a better job, and I don't think he proved that he was the solution by any means. So, yeah, Suns are going to find their guy now.
They could have given him another year. They could. I don't think anybody would have been too upset had he stayed.
Right.
But we knew this was kind of coming because, as we talked about before, and as I said, well, that Ishbia is in the Jerry Jones mode if they fire Budenholzer,
right?
Or if certain things happen. There's a couple of other things that will make it very, very clear if Ishbia is pulling the strings or not. But this right here is absolutely one of them. I also, from seeing all the posts on Twitter, have realized that Mike Budenholzer perpetually looks like he just smelled a fart. He just always has that look on his face.
He really does.
Jeffrey. I mean, I know they use one of those kinds of pictures when they, this dude got fired or something bad happens.
Yeah.
But that's kind of his go-to. That's
like
kind of his resting, I smelled a fart face.
Like someone just crop dusted him. And he's just like, he doesn't know what to do. Is kind of how he looks sometimes.
Or like somebody just took a turd in his pool right in front of him. And he's like, what?
It's like, what? Why would you do that?
Why would you do this?
Why would you do that? Yeah. He does kind of look like that sometimes.
So as much as, okay, things did not go great this year. And I think you can put a good deal of it on the coach's front step.
You most definitely can.
But it doesn't seem like this is probably the way to conduct business.
Yeah. I mean, when you
have
3 coaches in 3 years, Jeffrey,
that's the thing.
You have to tell yourself the coaches are not the problem.
Well,
but they're not the solution either.
So how much money was paid to the players this year? This roster, you had this much talent paid for by this much money, and you got this result.
Yep.
How much do you want to go here, percentage-wise? Coach versus organization versus players. I mean, how much do you put on Mike Budenholzer's doorstep for failure?
I'm comparing this team to the 2023 New York Mets. What they did was
they played baseball, right?
Yes. So,
and I just asked you what percentage you put on things. I didn't know story time was coming.
Well, I would say it's honestly 70% roster, 30% coach. I would say, Jeffrey.
So you think they made a mistake firing Budenholzer? Should have given him another year.
I think they should have given him another year. Yes.
Okay. Now you can tell your story about the Mets.
Well, the Mets got all of these free agent acquisitions, not sure if they would fit in, and just put them all together thinking, all right, we spent this much money, therefore we're going to contend for a championship.
Right. Money
and
equals,
it didn't happen.
Money
wins. Equals championship. Well, that's not all the time. This is the most expensive roster in the NBA, but you have to look at the complementary pieces around this team and wonder, where are they? You have 3 guys who score pretty much the exact same way in different varieties, but mostly from the mid-range. Jeffrey, the fit just isn't there. That's the issue.
Well, here's the thing. I would love a job where I go work for 1 year. They fire me, and I still end up going home with $50 million.
Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome.
I'm no expert in contract law, but I feel like they still have to pay him the $50 million on the 5-year deal, unless there is some clause in there saying, except for if you suck.
Yeah.
And I doubt
Yeah.
that clause is in there.
Right. I don't think that clause is in there either.
So he's getting the full 50, right?
Yeah, he's
This doesn't
getting
go
it.
towards the cap, so they're they can
That
pay
is a
this
positive. They don't have to pay the luxury tax. with this.
another dumb tax
Oh, yeah.
on the Suns.
Yeah. Yeah. Another one of many that is for the most expensive team in the NBA. This is, rough season. Rough season for the Suns. It's hard even talking about him, Jeffrey.
Well, so why do you think they cleared him out the way they did? Now I understand that trying to get in line for whatever coaches are out there. Everybody's going to be jockeying for position because Denver fired their coach too. So
yeah,
they just got to get ahead of it, try to get a good coach. But I think part of it also is they're looking at their players and they don't want people to jump ship either.
Right.
They want the people with the money to jump ship if possible. But I don't know. Here's a problem. You do this 3 years in a row. You are now making it impossible to bring a coach in. What coach wants to go to the one and done place?
No coach
except for
in their right mind wants to do that.
$50 million. Sure. I'll one and done you, one and done me all
We
day.
would one and done all day, Jeffrey. Come on. We'll take you to an illustrious 35-win season and we'll get our payday.
In fact, yes, dear Phoenix Suns, hi, Jeffrey O'Brien here. I can do as good as Budenholzer, and 50 million sounds good to me.
I mean, it can't be that hard, right, Jeffrey? It can't.
Yeah,
be that
you just
hard.
yell a lot.
You just yell a lot. Get to the refs occasionally.
It's not like the players listen to you or
Right,
anything,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I could say anything I want. I
Yeah.
could tell them a story in the timeout.
Right,
That
right.
continues every timeout. So the players are like, I can't wait for a timeout. I want to see how
that's
this thing
right,
goes.
That's right. We need it. Yeah, you start talking about the daily blender and the timeout.
No.
People are
It'd be
locked in.
Once upon a time. These players would probably love to hear the rest of that.
Oh, they would.
Anyway, now, what are we going to do? Mike Malone? Is that what's happening here?
Here's a dark horse. Mike Malone, Taylor Jenkins are probably the top two. I've heard Steve
Leroy Jenkins.
I've heard Steve Nash's name thrown around, Jeffrey.
Oh, sweaty Steve Nash.
This
huh?
wouldn't be the first time that a podcaster got an NBA job.
Do you remember? Didn't they?
Do I remember?
Didn't they bring him in to coach somewhere temporarily?
The Nets.
The Nets, and he stunk.
Yeah, it wasn't great. He had a lot of injuries, though, to be fair.
No, he has no business trying to coach, and he knows that too. He had that look at his face all the time, like, I know this is fun for me too. I just don't even care what happens next.
I mean, maybe it would be like a very much. Here's the thing: when you get rid of with 3 coaches in 3 years, that all of a sudden the stock of that job goes down.
Nobody
Guys
wants to
aren't gonna
come to
be-
Phoenix anymore.
Guys aren't
going
going to be as interested in that job once they think I have 1 year and I'm probably out of there. So maybe if you can't get Mike Malone and Taylor Jenkins, you got to pivot to someone who is a lifelong committed guy and is someone who the fans can absolutely love and just huddle around, and someone who's probably going to help sell tickets. And Steve Nash could be that guy. It could be very much a moral hire, a moral support hire, but it could be one.
HBO wants to win.
Yeah. Look, I'm saying ideas. I've
I
heard
don't think
Steve
he wants to
Nash's
sell
name.
tickets as much as he wants
You're
to
right.
win.
I've heard Steve Nash's name thrown around. I'm not saying if I agree or disagree with it. I'm just saying it has been thrown around.
Did you see what the Suns posted up when they fired Budenholzer?
What they posted up specifically? No.
Yeah, it was like, dude, he's going to try to want to get a job, and he might have a family. Here's what the Suns said. The Phoenix Suns today have relieved head coach Mike Budenholzer of his duties. The Suns said, competing at the highest level remains our goal, and we failed to meet expectations this season. Our fans deserve better. Change is needed. Basically, that was F you and the horse you rode in on Mike Budenholzer.
Yeah, that was a complete middle finger.
There was nothing in there like, we thank Mike for his time. Usually that whole BS people said, they're like, no, that blows. Because this little statement has Ishbia all over it, doesn't it?
Oh, it 100% does, Jeffrey.
So-
100% does. Yeah.
Failed to meet expectations this season. Our fans deserve better. Change is needed. Don't even look back, Mike Budenholzer.
Yep. Not too happy. Not too
Don't
happy.
you give us that fart face. Don't
Yeah.
you give us that fart face.
Yeah. So Jeffrey, I was talking to a friend about the Suns, and he said, this is what he said, the reason why Budenholzer ultimately got fired. To answer your question from earlier, He said that there was a disconnect between Booker and their head coach, and he's a Suns reporter. Mind I tell you. So he's in the locker room frequently. He also said the lineup changes, the players didn't buy into it, and people said in the organization, reportedly, anonymous source, that he was a terrible communicator. So combining all those things.
How did he have such success other places before he came here? Was it just he was gifted with a roster that just couldn't help but win? Or, I mean, he can't be that bad a coach.
Yeah, I'm not going to say because Atlanta, he didn't have this generational roster, and he won 60 games and 50 games consistently and won a championship at Milwaukee. Jeffrey, it is
personality conflict.
It is must have been a personality conflict, which happens, but nonetheless, very puzzling to me to understand from someone that's had so much success in so many different areas and then goes here and lays an egg in 1 year and is done.
Well, you know what? He's got $50 million. He can sort out the questions of his life with $50 million.
Absolutely.
We as Phoenix Suns fans, we don't have the luxury of trying to figure this out with any kind of anything. I'm just glad I don't have season tickets at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Because if things are going the way they're going, I feel like season tickets might get cheaper. But I think they're all sold out. By the way, speaking of Mike Malone, here's the thing about Mike Malone and the difference.
Yep.
So they fired Mike Malone. They did it the right way.
Yeah.
The Nuggets fired him, but they were cool about it.
Yeah. Right.
And he put out this whole big thing. He posted, I don't know if you saw this, that he posted up this thank you to the Nuggets.
Yeah.
And he says all these nice things about, my deepest gratitude to the family, that owns the team. And, thank you to all the fans and the players. And I like also the flex on his thank you. He put a picture of him kissing the trophy he won while he was at Denver.
Yeah. He's like, hey, just so you know.
Yeah. By the way, you're firing the guy who won you a trophy as a coach, but that's cool. Thank you. Bye now.
Yeah.
Bye.
I'll take my trophy and leave. That's it. Goodbye.
So, I mean, Budenholzer can't even do that. He can't. He can't even respond to what the Suns put out about him.
Didn't even give him a chance, Jeffrey.
No.
Not even a single one, which is.
He's like, I'm just going to take my money, and yes, I will go F myself.
I'll take my $50 million and go elsewhere. I'll go to Cancun. Who even knows, man?
This is hilarious, by the way. I'm looking at the text line, right? And I got a bunch of texts. I got to get to the text line.
Yes.
But somebody said, good Lord, what was it? Saturday.
Yes.
At around this time, here's what they texted in. This is so funny.
Okay.
6302 says Fanatic, and then it said, and then we have the little thing that says opting in. Hey, thanks for being a part of it. And then he's like, oh, I don't want to opt in. Stop. Then he goes, unstop, start, Fanatic, start, and then just now he says stop.
It's my gosh,
what are you trying to achieve?
It's just nonstop. Oh my gosh. We're going to go 3 hours in the show. He's still going to be doing it.
That was fun. I don't even care.
That's
Cowboy Sparky says, good afternoon, gentlemen. So where do the Suns go from here? What coach is even available? My gosh. Well, like we said, you can go from one Mike to another. You go from Mike Budenholzer to Mike Malone, I guess. But who else is what's your name again? Harris did mention.
I am indeed Harris.
He did mention Steve Nash, but that's like a cartoon answer over here off the side.
That's like the fun answer.
Who are some of the other people that are even available for this?
Well, one that could be available is Todd Golden, who just won the national championship at Florida. That's just that's a flash in the pan. That could happen.
I don't think he's going to leave Florida for this gig.
A lot of guys are leaving the University of Florida. And
well, maybe he would.
So they're going to have a pretty empty team next year.
Ishbia, big college basketball guy, as you know.
State guy, yes.
Sure, he's aware of him.
Yeah, he might be. And hey, with the guys that are leaving at Florida, and man, let me tell you, Jeffrey, money talks. Money talks.
Never heard that before.
Right? Yeah.
Did you make that up?
No, it's in a Kendrick Lamar song, I believe.
Kendrick Lamar made that up?
He did make that up.
Money talks.
Yeah, I know. It
oh
literally
my God.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Where has that phrase been all my life? Money talks.
Well, you learn something new. Learn something new. My dad.
Also, hey, do me a favor real fast.
Yes.
I want you to Google sarcasm. 888-368-1580. Average Joe says, good afternoon, Jeffrey and Harris. Best part about Budenholzer being let go is we no longer have to have people call him Coach Bud. because Bud is not short for Budenholzer. I hated when they called him Coach Bud. Yeah. No, okay. I mean, that's really up to him. Maybe he didn't mind.
Yeah.
Did you check with him, Average Joe, to see how he felt about it?
Yeah, let's check with him. See how he feels.
It's too late. He's gone. He's already, there is no way he's not already flown back to wherever it is he likes to hang out.
Yeah, who knows where he likes to hang out.
And he can roll around in that big old pile of money he's got now.
Oh, man. He's one of those guys.
Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago, says, I doubt this Ralph character shows up tomorrow. As long as I've been listening, he's yet to appear. Here's the thing, Abe. You and Harris have been around about an equal amount of time.
This is also true.
You'll hear him on commercials. I don't really. Yeah, okay. Baker's Cocky Hen says Booker said they skipped building a winning culture. Mike Malone's available and seems to be a culture setter. But players don't like him because he makes you work so you can win. So do they want to work? Do you feel like the Suns want to work? You know what? Here's what I think. Somebody's leaving. Somebody is leaving, one of the players. Whoever's left behind, I don't think you can say bad things about, say, Devin Booker's work ethic. You can't say anything bad about Kevin Durant's work ethic.
Nope.
I don't know about Bradley Beal's work ethic. And then everyone else is so unfamous, they can't help but have a good work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's not enough ego there for everybody to be like, oh, I want to do what he says.
Yeah.
So I said it before, the minute they fired Mike Malone, I was like, ooh, Suns might be thinking about that.
Well, from what Shams reported today, Jeffrey, he said, quote, from my understanding, the foundation of everything they're doing in Phoenix is Devin Booker. So Devin Booker's going to most likely stick around.
Yeah.
Everyone
They'll
else,
build on him.
everyone else is pretty expendable.
They will flush the toilet of everyone else.
Yep. That's going to happen. An ultimate flush the toilet. That's
6302. What are you trying to achieve? Now he says, stop to end.
He's still going. Oh my gosh, he's still going. Oh, man.
Would you, I mean, I'll ask this person, do you want me to block you to help? I mean, what are you doing?
Jeffrey will block you. He's
I
not
barely
gonna
need a reason.
He's not going to hesitate to block anybody. Heck,
Donnie says, Todd Golden. Why not throw out Dan Hurley? It's never Devin Booker's fault. It's never James Jones's fault. Enjoy reverting back to the 2010 era Suns, you dopey Suns fans. He's a Wolves fan and also an a-hole. But Donnie, just shut up.
Yeah, anyway. Donnie, how about you put a sock in it? Respectfully. And also
no, you don't even have to add respectfully.
Disrespectfully.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Try it out.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull a Jeffrey here.
Disrespectfully, Donnie.
Put a sock in it. Yeah. Come on, we don't want to hear it.
Heavy Metal Maniac says Ishbia has had more head coaches in such a short time. It has to be some sort of record, right? We're going to fire everybody constantly. I've never heard of such a thing. It's just preposterous. Well, what is the record on coaches short term?
I'll have to look that up. How many coaches and how many years for an owner? I mean, 3 in 3 years is a lot of change, but that's happened before. I feel like that's happened before.
Oh, no. So the Lakers are playing against the Timberwolves in the playoffs. Is that right?
Yes.
Because Fifth Letter says, Donnie, your team's going to be gone in 5. Lake Show, baby. Here's the thing. I disagree. I feel like as much as I don't like Donnie, but only as a person. Don't take it wrong.
Of course.
It's as a person, in his personality.
Yes. You don't like his personality.
I don't like anything about Donnie.
You don't like anything
all.
about him. Not a single thing.
So understand that. In all due respect. But I have nothing against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Right.
Oh, I feel like
even what they've done to the Suns.
The Suns did that to themselves.
This is true.
So I'm not holding any ill will. I mean, it's a great team. Timberwolves are a great team.
They are a great team. This is true.
Let's just be realistic, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't think that the Lakers are going to take them out in 5. I don't think it's going to be as easy as you think, Fifth Letter.
Also, Minnesota is 8-2 in their last 10 games. The Lakers are I think 6-4. Like Minnesota's been on a good tear recently.
The Timberwolves and the Lakers, let's say they're both hot chicks.
Yep.
But one of them is a mental mess. Guess which one?
The Lakers.
Exactly. We know we can get into the whole playoff picture here if you want, but I got a bunch of texts here on the text line, and we're talking a bit about Budenholzer getting shown the door, and what the hell the Sun's going to do next. Let's take it and bring it back when we return. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. T&Cs apply.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Spring is here and Kohl's has everything you need to celebrate it in style. Find fresh looks the whole family will love for all your events and get-togethers this season. Plus, save an extra 15% on some of your favorites and earn Kohl's Cash. There's so much to love about spring, and big savings on great styles is one of them. Find them now at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles. Offer ends April 19th. Kohl's Cash and coupons do not apply to Sephora at Kohl's. Exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Looking to take your career to the next level? Arizona's largest law enforcement agency is hiring detention officers right now. Play a critical role in protecting public safety with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office and gain experience that could lead to careers in leadership or as a recruit training officer. Discover competitive compensation and unlimited potential at jobs.mcso.org. Honor the law, serve the people. Apply today by visiting jobs.mcso.org. Sponsored by the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office.
The Rich Eisen Show.
Now the conversation is the Florida sports program the greatest sports program there is, because there's the only one with 3 national championships in football and basketball. That's it. I mean, how many programs have won 3 in hoops and 3 in football? There's only one. It's called the University of Florida.
Man, that's pretty good.
Sent the most prolific runner in the history of the National Football League to the next level.
That's true.
That's a fact.
That's true.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at 9 a.m. on 1580, The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. So the Ohio State College Football Championship team went to the White House, and they're all standing out there in front of the White House, and Trump is over there doing his Trump thing.
Yep.
Down the way, they start handing this trophy around. And J.D. Vance gets a hold of it, and things just completely fell apart on him, and he dropped it everywhere.
Oh, man. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, Dan Quayle's like, what a rube. Yeah, so, yeah, I just, maybe don't. It wasn't necessarily his fault because somebody else was trying to help, and so the top came off the trophy.
Right.
You just don't want to be the guy holding it when it happens.
No, much less the vice president of the United States. This could have been anybody. There's been so many opportunities that anyone in this world could have dropped that trophy. And of all people, it was the vice president of the United States, Jeffrey.
He'll be the president for a minute because the doctor who said that, Donald Trump is the finest specimen of human being that any White House doctor has ever seen, but still we'd like to take a look at your poop chute. So he's going to get a colonoscopy. And so for the time when he's under getting the colonoscopy, J.D. Vance will suddenly be president.
Right. I mean, he's got to be. Well, I saw this thing. There's 6'3", 245. Trump is. You know who else is 6'3", 245? Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I feel like one of them probably is in
putting
better
it out
shape
there.
than the other.
Just putting it out there. But yes, you bring up a point.
So anyway, I just saw that. That's kind of it gave me
was
a,
really
a
funny.
chuckle.
Very
And there's
funny.
Trump watching when it happens. He was just like, "Oh my
He's
god!"
like, oh.
Pence would have never done that. What did I
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yep.
Anyway, let's get back to what we were doing. And let's see. Big George says, "Hello, gentlemen. Happy Monday." I had an earthquake this morning here in San Diego.
Yes.
It was like a 5.1 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah.
He says, "I hear that Fernando Tatis Jr. of the San Diego Padres fell over during the earthquake, but he fell on his wallet, so it cushioned the blow. So he's okay."
Wow, he fell over during the earthquake. It was that bad. That's crazy.
You ever been in an earthquake?
I have never been in an earthquake, Jeffrey.
Yeah, I've been in one. It was like in the morning, just as I'm kind of waking up around 6 a.m. This was in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
And the bed that I was in had like a brass frame.
Dude,
and it was on tile. So the whole thing just started moving. It started like somebody was shaking it. And I'm like, what the hell?
What the heck is happening?
Thought a truck was going by or something.
Yeah, gotta be.
I was just kind of disappointed, man, because I was like, no, I want to be a great.
Yep.
I want to feel it.
Yep.
It's like kind of like when I was in Minnesota. I was like, when's it going to snow? And everyone's like, shut up. I was like, no, I just want to experience a nice snow. And you say stuff like that about an earthquake or snow, people who live there want to murder you. But anyway, so
it's crazy.
Yeah, Big George, enjoy the ride. Chosen One says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. Happy Monday." I would agree. 70% he's on the Suns roster. 30% is on the coaching. I wouldn't have brought Bud back either. Even though it's 30%, you're giving him 30% of the blame, but you're still not going to bring him back. I don't understand that, Chosen One.
Yeah, me neither. Doesn't make sense, Chosen One.
He also says, "As for crop dusting, my favorite spots would be Mall's food court or grocery store aisle."
Very effective.
We really weren't discussing crop dusting. We were talking about Budenholzer's facial reaction.
No, but he wanted to bring it up, and he did.
Silver Pops says, "Good afternoon, guys. Happy Monday." I think Steve Nash was coaching the Nets when Durant made their GM fire Nash.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't bring Nash here.
That was the year. Yeah, that's a good point. That was the year when Kevin Durant's toe was on the line. Remember that Bucks series?
Yep.
Yeah, Steve Nash was coaching that team.
So here's the thing. Okay, how about this for a strategy?
Okay.
What could we possibly do to get Kevin Durant to sign off on, and forego the no trade clause?
I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, Steve Nash is a new coach.
Oh, that's genius.
Trade me now. Just like he did in
Jersey.
Jersey.
Get me out of here. Get me
way
out. Wow. You know what, Jeffrey? Hey, you're playing chess and everyone else is playing checkers here. You're thinking
I'm
ahead.
a genius. I know.
You're thinking ahead. Yeah.
Kyle G says, "At this point, the Suns need to go complete tear down and rebuild. Get what picks you can for any big contract player. Get a young new blood coach to go along with young free agents and draft picks. Let it simmer for about 4 to 5 years and see where it puts you. The attempt to force a championship now is bleeding the franchise to death." Okay, Kyle G, I think we all agree a rebuild is in order.
Right.
But can you do Devin Booker plus rebuild? Can you keep Devin Booker and do a rebuild? Is there enough there that you can get that done?
Well, here's the question. Is Devin Booker preventing you from having an effective rebuild because you're too good? You're contending since he's there.
Yeah, but the draft situation in the NBA is not like in the NFL. So, I'm not. You trade for the picks. You don't necessarily ever just get the good ones.
The NBA is still very top heavy at the draft, nonetheless. In the NFL, sometimes you can find guys you'll see teams that'll find guys in the third round. NBA, when you find dudes in the late first or second, there's a big drop off from the top. So, Devin Booker might be too good for the Suns to rebuild with him. That's my thought.
Number one Rattlers fan says, "Epic crop dusting here at Wild Horse Pass Casino. Got 4 craps tables in a small area on a Saturday, 10:30. I probably crop dusted 80 people in like a minute and a half."
Oh, dude, that's so impressive. I don't know if I've gotten to 80, but I think I've reached like 30 here and there.
I don't know. I've walked through crowded mall, food courts.
Oh, at that point, you got it.
That's probably about
Yeah.
Just the Tip says, "Been in 2 earthquakes when I lived in San Diego. Why are the hanging lamps moving? Why do I feel my feet shaking?" Second one was like, yeah, whatever. I'm used to it.
Wow. See, that's crazy when you just go through an earthquake and you're kind of like, that's it. Like you shake for a little bit.
Well,
like,
it's about the level of earthquake. If things are just kind of
Uh-huh.
shaking a little bit, you're kind of like, oh, because that's why I likened it to like, did a truck just drive by?
Right.
You know, so it's kind of like no big deal. You're like, oh, what's that?
Well,
but
Jeffrey-
then the higher earthquakes, you know, you're getting tossed about
Right,
and you
right.
immediately know what's happening.
Well, maybe I heard Big George mentioned in this, and maybe I've heard Big George is quite the big guy. So maybe when he stepped in San Diego, you know, things could have started shaking.
Maybe
'cause
he
he's
went
just that big.
jogging.
Yeah, he
it's-
went jogging and then boom, boom. You know, it's just.
So you've
starts
seen
shaking.
George. There's no jogging.
Oh, there's no.
King of Gritton says, I felt at least 4 earthquakes, including a small one here in Phoenix a few years ago. Oh yeah, every now and then you'll feel a little something happen.
No way.
From
I've
up
never
north
felt
or
that.
from the west, but it's rare.
Amen.
Walter Mellon says, out of the coaches that are available, are there any players that might follow him? Could the Suns kill 2 birds here and get a coach and a big? Well, that's very specific shopping.
Very specific shopping. I'm not quite sure. We don't know yet. Maybe you could get someone from the Grizzlies if you go get Taylor Jenkins. Just a thought. Maybe you could try to get Jaren Jackson. But I asked this, what type of assets do the Suns have to go get someone like that? Maybe Kevin Durant, but you know, I don't know. The answer to that would be we'll have to see.
Sir Drives a Lot says crop dusting and watching for confirmation is fun. Yeah, but that can get you caught.
Right.
You don't want to
It's
get
too
caught.
risky. No, it's too risky. The
Last
best-
Optimist says every time the hanging lamp started swinging at the office in Tempe, that was usually due to a haboob.
Yeah, that or Big George went on his daily jog.
I don't think a dust storm. I mean, really? I mean, I guess high winds in the side of the building, but they wouldn't be swinging that much.
No, I would imagine not. Not
Huh.
a dust storm.
Sir Drives a Lot says, I like to live on the edge.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, totally fair.
Anyway, so there we go. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know who we're going to get as a coach, but now we are in a competition with the Denver Nuggets for whoever is next. And if you had the choice, let's say, hey, Harris Hicks, you know what? We think you're amazing. We think you're brilliant. We think you're a leader of men. We think you should be our next head coach, but you get offered both jobs. Which one is more attractive to you?
Oh, I mean, this will disappoint a lot of Suns fans, but I don't even have to blink. The Nuggets, way more. You get to coach the best player in the world. Come on now. I would choose the Nuggets easily, not even blink, Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to hurt the Phoenix Suns as they try to find their next head coach.
And along with that, the Memphis Grizzlies, who also are in the playoffs, they have a good young core. They're probably the second most attraction right now. So the Suns are probably third.
Well, at least one positive note for the Phoenix Suns, beating the San Antonio Spurs at home, last home game. At least you gave the fans something to feel good about.
Got to give them something.
But here we are, not even in a play-in. And here's the playoff picture. Let's take a look real quick here. Let's see. The Kings, they've got the Mavericks.
Yeah.
Who is that? I can't. All I have is a thing that shows me logos. So if anybody's changed their logos, I may have questions. The Warriors and the Grizzlies, they're playing each other.
Yep.
Those are play-ins, right?
So yeah, the 7-8 play and the 9 and 10 play in the play-in. So yeah.
All right. So in the East, you got the Bulls and the Heat going for the 9th, and then you've got the Magic and the Hawks playing for the 8th.
Very mediocre. You know what? Death, taxes, and the Bulls being in the play-in every year. It somehow happens. Don't know how, but it does.
At least they're in. I mean, that's how I feel right now as a Suns fan.
Yep. That's right. Yeah. At least they're in.
So who do you want to say is probably going to go all the way? Who do you looking at the field? Everybody, do you need me to tell you the field? I'll tell you the field. On the West, first ranked OKC. You got the Houston Rockets second. You got the Lakers third. You have the Nuggets in fourth. Coachless Nuggets.
Yep.
Clippers in the 5 spot. You got the Timber Pups in the 6 spot.
Yeah.
And that's the West. In the East, you got the Cleveland Cavaliers in the 1st spot, Celtics in the 2nd, Knicks in the 3rd, Pacers in the 4th, Milwaukee Bucks in the 5th, Detroit Pistons in the 6th. So there's the field. Do you want to go East and West, or you just want to call the ball? Call the ball, Harris.
I'm calling the ball, man. I think
who's winning the whole
Celtics.
damn thing?
The Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics are going to win this thing,
Yeah,
Jeffrey.
that was going to be my pick just because I'm Irish.
Oh,
Now I
look
feel
at
like
that. Great minds think alike.
well,
We
now we
don't
can't
even
pick the same thing.
we're so in the same sync. We don't even have to think about it, Jeffrey. How
I don't
about
know if
that?
that's true. I don't know. If
Oh,
that's
I think
true.
it's true.
It's probably not true.
I think it is.
Okay, so who's going to be there for the West then? Who's going to go all the way for the West?
I think in the West, man, the Lakers might be the team, which I loathe admitting
Mm-hmm.
that. I don't love admitting that, but I think they might be the team ultimately. You get a guy like Luka Doncic. We've seen how good he is in the postseason. He elevates his play. Obviously,
Not the
LeBron
Timberwolves.
James.
Not the Nuggets, of course. Yeah,
No.
coach issues. Not OKC.
Could you imagine if the Nuggets won? Like what that would say, the message that would send to the NBA if the Nuggets won the whole thing.
I think they're. I think that the coach would probably just quit. He's like, I'm done.
Oh,
no, that's fine.
I got what I wished for. Give me my
No, I
trophy.
got
I'm done.
fired, and they went to the championship without me. He could say, "Well, it was because of all the preparation I did for them during the course of the year, so that's a win for
Oh
me too."
yeah, heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Or I don't think I should ever show my face in public again.
He would technically get a ring because I think you have to play or coach
Mm.
in 55 total games in order to get a ring. And he did that.
So I'd say mail it to me.
So could you imagine him being at the ring ceremony?
No. Here's Mike Malone because he seems petty enough. Mike Malone's
Yeah.
be like, mail it to me. They send the thing to your house. I get somebody to
Yep.
record me,
Yep.
open up the box, put it in the those little like those
Ring
metal
little
things.
things. Yeah, yeah. I
Have
know
a
what you're talking
forge sitting
about.
there
Yep.
and just start melting it down right in front of the camera. Just staring in the
Oh,
camera the whole time,
he
melt it
should
down,
So do that.
and then pour it into something.
Yep. Yep. Go grab it and chuck it in the Pacific Ocean. Or something. I don't know.
Sir Drives a Lot says the chef and playoff Jimmy for the win.
Chef and playoff Jimmy for the win. I mean, the Warriors, they got to get past the play-in first. And if they win that, the Rockets are a good team, man. And they won 52 games. And that's a really solid roster. So
Abe
I don't know.
Froman, Sausage King of Chicago, says, "Hey there, Harris. Don't you trash my Bulls. So sure, we may not have a team that'll win a championship, but hey, we fight hard. We might even win the play-in. God, Bulls."
Ooh. Well, first, let me say this, okay? Mediocrity is nothing to complain about, and it's nothing to write home about. I'm not trashing the Bulls. I'm just saying you guys are really average.
Harris, have
really
you ever
average.
actually written a letter?
I have before, yes.
An actual letter that you actually wrote
Yes.
by hand,
Yes.
put on paper,
Put on paper.
in an envelope,
Sent
lick
everything.
the stamp.
I have with the stamp.
Well, who the hell were you writing to?
Who was I writing to?
Yeah.
Sausage King of Chicago, right? He was saying he was
No.
making fun
Who
of
were
the
you
Bulls.
really writing to when you wrote this letter?
Oh, I think I wrote it was a while ago. I think I wrote it to my grandparents.
I'm
a while ago.
stunned. I am
My
stunned,
parents-
but
my-
also understand the internet's probably pretty slow in Tennessee. Never mind.
My parents very big on handwritten letters.
Yeah, that's cool. Good for
Yeah.
them.
Thank you.
Back to this. Let's see. Moist One says, "You guys pee in the same sink?" No, he says we're in sync. You pervert.
Always has an angle. Does Moist One.
Baker's cock again says Harris is right. Suns can't rebuild. They have to construct it from the beginning and move Booker and everyone with any talent or value. Stockpile legit picks from bad teams using multi-team trades, or convince someone to come here for cash under the table. Shouldn't be that hard to work this out under the table. I don't think you can do anything under the table like what
No.
you're talking about.
Yeah, this isn't college sports. This is the NBA.
Just
on
a tip says, as far as crop dusting, best place is a crowded elevator. I'd look at one person next to me and frown. Yeah. You know,
Oh, yeah.
it's not about crop dusting, but I've done things where, like, say there's a line.
Yeah.
And then I'll yell something and then I'll turn around and look at behind me. Like
yeah.
everybody else. Everybody thinks it's a person that's towards the end and they're like, oh, well, was it me?
You got to point to someone and say
Well,
it was
not even
you.
point. Not even point. How would you point?
Yeah.
How would I know who it was? So, like the people
Yeah.
in front of me, I've turned around. They see the back of my head, and they're thinking, "Well, he's just like wondering what the hell's going on, just like me."
Yep. And then you
I
just
have
look
yelled some of the most disturbing and filthy things and gotten away with it.
as you should. As you should.
Moist One says, "How many love letters has Harris written
How many love letters? I
to
haven't
a
written
gal?
any.
To a
love-
gal,
Oh, to a
not your
gal.
grandma. That's weird."
Yeah, I haven't written any love letters. Like handwritten letters, I've not written any handwritten letters to girls. Other than, no, I haven't.
Dearest Penelope,
Actually, I really liked my first grade teacher. and I actually wrote her a letter when I was like 7.
How
That
long
took me
did you
back.
guys go out?
Oh my gosh.
It's Tennessee. I mean,
no,
it
that's
was
that's
to
an
be
Alabama.
expected.
That's an Alabama thing. That's an
All
Alabama
right,
thing.
listen, we got to
Don't
take
put
a
us in
break.
that.
When we come back, yes, so you know something we haven't even talked about yet. Let's talk about the Masters and see where our guys ended up and talk about who won and stuff. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com to schedule. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. T&Cs apply.
Everybody's got a podcast these days. Comedy, politics, true crime, you name it. But how many actually teach you anything useful? Harman Solar has an entertaining podcast that is vital if you've been thinking about looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Ralph and Ben explore the intricacies of utilities, equipment, processes, and more. Their primary objective is to educate and empower you to make informed decisions on your solar journey. So increase your knowledge, not your bills. Go check it out right now. It's the Harman Solar Podcast at harmansolar.com.
Hey, son, what you doing?
Looking around for jobs, offices, 9 to 5. I don't want anything boring.
You know, Brian's son is in the Phoenix Police Academy. Pretty sure he's not bored.
I never thought of that.
Check out joinphxpd.com and take a look.
Over 80 specialty details like detective and canine handler. What else? Dignitary protection, 911 operator? They have aviation and dive team jobs?
Rise to serve. Find more today at joinphxpd.com. Protect and serve with the elite.
Sponsored by the City of Phoenix.
Download our free sports app and stay up with all the latest sports news, scores, highlights, and more. Or stream us live anywhere at 1580thefanatic.com. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Arizona's home for sports.
State Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. That's a good question, Justin Tip. I'm going to say the answer is yes. What's the question? Well, Justin Tip says, is the GM in Phoenix capable of doing a complete rebuild? I do believe, without interference, James Jones is absolutely capable of doing a complete rebuild. I think I've got complete confidence in him to be able to do his job correctly. Yep. Now, do I think that he'll be left to do that without influences of, I don't know, maybe a meddling owner? No, I do not. Now, so I don't know how this is going to go. It all depends on how much of James Jones's job James Jones is actually able to do.
Yep. And actually, funny enough, there was a report that came out this morning in terms of the rebuild. Shams from ESPN said that the Suns are expected to listen to trade offers
Mhm.
for superstar Kevin Durant. The team will reportedly work with Durant and his business partner to find a new team for the 15-time All-Star.
All right.
Hmm.
So that's according to the guy with the weird name.
Yes, the guy with the weird
The
name.
new Woj, basically.
The new Woj.
There
Yes,
ain't
who I
nobody else
actually have
doing it.
met before.
Mhm.
Two of my friends met him, and they both asked for his email, and he gave them two different emails.
Oh, just like the hot chick at the club, give
Oh,
the fake
yeah.
phone number.
Yep, the fake phone number. It's the classic.
That's
It's the classic.
funny.
They got fake phone number, Jeffrey.
That is sad, but
Right.
fair enough.
But pretty funny at the same time. Yeah.
So yeah, I do feel like left to his own devices, James Jones could do just fine, but that's
100%.
probably not going to happen. So
Yeah.
all right, well, Rory McIlroy, that's your guy there. You got you got the win there on our Masters picks. Do you
Yes,
know anything
yes.
about golf at all?
I am a golf guy. I do.
No. You know anything about the current state of who's good and who's bad in golf?
Yes, I would say I do.
All right, because you took chalk. I took the Scheffler, which is also chalk. But so it's not like you went out on a limb for this.
No,
but,
I did not.
Yeah, Rory McIlroy completed his career Grand Slam on Sunday.
Yep.
Got that dramatic fashion win right there.
Oh, it was awesome.
Didn't make it easy on himself or his fans. You know,
Nope.
he went into day 4 with a 2-stroke lead over Bryson DeChambeau.
Yep.
Who faded early, but Justin Rose came back from 7 shots down, and he made it interesting.
He did.
Rory could have won it on the 18th, but he hit his second shot into a bunker. Then he missed a 5-foot putt. Just disaster. He's the kind of guy. Remember, we talked about this. Said that guy he likes to have disasters at the Masters.
He does.
Well, that's pretty
Yeah,
good. That rhymes.
yeah.
Disasters at the Masters.
Disasters at the Masters. Yes.
So he finished tied with Rose at 11 under, which
Uh-huh.
forced a playoff. And then fans were worried that, yep, here we go. Rory's going to blow it again. But, well, fair or not, he has been known to choke under pressure. He went to day
Yes.
4 of 2011 Masters, the 4-stroke lead, then lost it by 10. Yesterday's playoff only ended up taking 1 hole, though. Rose made par, but Rory stuck it to 2 feet and made a birdie to win and immediately fell to his knees and cried like a wee girl.
Yep, he did. He did.
So it's the last major he needed for a career Grand Slam, meaning he's now won all 4 Masters this year, U.S. Open in 2011, PGA Championship in 2012 and 14, and the Open Championship or British Open 2014. So did all that by the age of 36.
Yep.
Of course, he hasn't
Grand
won a
Slam.
major in over a decade. So a lot of people were thinking maybe that was never going to happen.
Yeah.
And he even admitted he had his own doubts about this, but just 5 players have done this. Do you know who they are? Off the top of your head, without looking.
Okay. Tiger Woods.
Yes.
Jack Nicklaus.
Yes.
Obviously, Rory McIlroy.
No. Oh, wait, yes. Yeah, well, I said other players.
Oh, 5 other players. Okay, man, who would
you got
be the
Jack,
guy?
you got Tiger.
Did Phil Mickelson do this?
No.
Oh,
But I think he might have hit on my wife at a golf course near our house.
I wouldn't be surprised. Did Gary Player do it?
Hit on my wife?
The career Grand Slam.
No, he
Player,
got that. Yes.
Gary Player's like 5'4".
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it doesn't mean
way.
listen, players shoot their shot, right? I'm not even mad about Phil
right.
Mickelson.
Yeah. Yep. Forks up, by the way, Phil Mickelson. Yep.
So who else?
Okay, Gary Player. I don't think Sam Snead. Sam
No.
Snead.
No.
He didn't do it.
No.
Really? Bobby
No.
Jones.
Who?
He didn't do it?
No.
Oh my gosh. Arnold Palmer?
One of these names is going to bug you. You'll be like, oh, how did I not get that? The other one, you'll be like, I have no idea who that.
Okay, Arnold Palmer is one
No.
of them.
No.
Oh my goodness, who am I missing? Oh, I don't know. I'm
You're not old enough, or else I would throw in a TV quote that
Did-
might help you.
Did Nick Faldo do it?
No.
No.
Jim,
This
I'm
is
sitting here
hard.
trying to give you a clue, and you're just talking right over me like you don't even care. I have a clue.
Okay, what's the clue? What's the clue?
Maybe he knows Colonel Schultz. I mean, Sergeant Schultz and Colonel Klink.
Oh, I'm not following.
See?
I'm not following. You're gonna have to tell me.
Ben Hogan, Hogan's
Oh
Heroes.
my gosh, Ben Hogan. And I've read his book on
Mhm.
golf. and
Or
I
at
didn't
least
get that.
pretended to on the plane so people would think you were somebody.
I'm not LeBron. Come on now.
So there's one other name. I'm just going to tell you because
Yeah, go
I
ahead,
don't
tell
think you'd ever figure out Gene Sarazen.
Yeah, I know who that is.
I know you know who it is, but you were not ever going to figure it out as him.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have. Yeah, it was a long, long time ago. I would assume.
Kiss the Cook has issue. He says it is not a grand slam. Grand Slam's winning all 4 in a calendar year. Did anybody say grand slam? They said career grand slam. Within his career, Kiss the Cook. And by the way, I got news for you. None of this is a grand slam. Here's a grand slam. 2 pancakes, 2 eggs, 2 slices of bacon, a glass of orange juice. Back in the day, it used to be $2.99. Now it's like $18.
Oh my gosh, it doesn't get any better than that, Jeffrey.
Love
You're
a grand
speaking
slam.
my language.
Love a
Speaking my
grand slam.
language. Yep. Yep.
Denny's sort of sometimes they're good, sometimes you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Used to
yeah.
be Denny's was always the same. Now sometimes it's hit and miss if you're going to get anything good out of there.
Here's how I describe it. Okay, Waffle House, you're throwing the Hail Mary, right?
Yeah, you never
right.
know.
Yeah, IHOP, I would say you are kicking the field goal, and Denny's, you're punting.
Cracker Barrel, you're like, I don't mind having a stomach ache
I
later.
didn't put in Cracker Barrel in there. Yeah.
That's greasy to us. That's yeah. Cracker Barrel and what's the other one?
Cracker Barrel, Denny's,
Waffle House.
Waffle House.
Greasy.
I love Waffle House, man. Love it.
So Rory McIlroy got $4,200,000 for his trouble.
Right.
Let's see. My guy Scheffler, he got 1 million.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, Oberg, he got 700,000, and that was Randy's guy, and he was in 7th place.
Yep. And if you take out the 18th hole, he would get 1.4 million. So he lost $700,000 on one hole.
You just don't want to say that to the guy.
Yeah, no, you don't. You don't.
And then Morikawa, he got what did he get here? He got 336,000, being tied for 14th.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Harris, I don't know where the rest of these people, I don't feel like scrolling through a million names to find it.
That's my sleeper pick, Jeffrey. Harris English.
How'd he do?
He did good. I think he was like 4 under in like top 20 in the Masters. Oh, he was 12th. Yeah, 4 under. So he was good.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, he got 462,000. So your lowest guy did better than Morikawa.
What can I say? What can I say? Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, man, it was an amazing Masters. This probably was the best Masters I've watched since 2019 when Tiger Woods won it.
Did you fall asleep to all of it, or did you just fall asleep to some of it?
Oh, I watched the whole thing. I was
You didn't
locked
fall
in,
asleep?
Jeffrey.
How can you watch golf and not fall asleep?
Oh, just
even
because
people
it's
who
so...
like golf. I remember ready to be over at my buddy Jeff Finicello's house, and we come through. We're like messing around, and there his dad was sitting there in his chair, watching the golf. And we come back walking through. He was gone, and he loved golf.
Loved
golf.
Yeah, there is a certain piece about it. My granddad, every time I'd come back, he would walk in there. He'd be asleep on his chair with the golf channel on.
They'd be like, "Oh no, I wasn't asleep. I'm just listening.
I was just watching."
Yeah, no, listening to golf. That's because that's really the best way to appreciate the game is to hear people talking about it.
I'm not
rather
asleep.
than
I'm just
watching it.
resting my eyes. I use that. We're all guilty of that, aren't we? As men, we're all guilty of that.
Just the Tip says, I was in Arnie's army way back in the day. Never had any doubt that he'd win, but Tiger fan, no doubt he'd win. The fun thing about being a Rory fan is the roller coaster he provides you on the way to a win.
Oh, man.
Well, the roller coaster stopped being a roller coaster when the years started going by, where he consistently just kind of tin cupped some of this stuff,
Yeah.
But now, at least for his career, he's got that. So no matter what happens next, he'd be like, that's cool.
Yep. Did you watch the U.S. Open last year, Jeffrey?
No.
Okay, so Rory McIlroy had this 3-foot putt to win it and missed it. And
3
so,
foot.
like 3-4 foot, I want to say. It was really short.
Most
and
of
he
us
missed
could
it.
make that.
Yep. So the Rory McIlroy choking history, the choker label. If he
Moist
didn't
one,
win
just
this,
don't even start typing.
Oh my gosh! I just threw him a lob. He's gonna dunk it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. Moist one says, my version of a grand slam is taking home a lucky lady after bingo. All righty.
All right, Moist one.
There has been worse text from him.
There for sure has. That was one of the better ones.
Sad.
Right. I know.
Random texter says Triple H couldn't have watched all the Masters. Had he watched all the Masters, it said previous slam winners 12 times in the 4th round. You should have aced your quiz, Jeffrey. I know.
Hey, I think
I'll call him on his BS before he even told me that. That he didn't fall asleep when he watched the whole thing.
Part of the Masters, I'll have you know, I was a working man. Okay, I was patrolling the scenes back behind here on the board, so I'll have you know of that. But
well, that wasn't the part we were talking about. We're talking about
there-
Saturday and Sunday.
yeah, there's no excuse.
Did you watch
I should
every
have gotten
moment
it.
of it Saturday and Sunday? Every moment?
Not every single moment, but I watched a heavy chunk of it. Sunday, I watched darn near the whole thing.
NFL Blitzer says, I used Chat GPT to pick Justin Rose to win the Masters.
He was
Chat
close,
GPT was almost right.
He was almost right, man. He was close. And if Justin Rose would have won it, man, I would have handed it to him. He's been second place in multiple majors before. So, ChatGPT, how about that? Oh, that's crazy. We are changing times, Jeffrey. Changing times.
Who is the guy that was using this? One guy used the AI to pick all of his, like, to do his fantasy football team for him.
Oh, I have no idea. I didn't
Lost
know that was
Toby.
a
That
thing.
might have been Lost Toby.
Oh my
He did a
gosh.
whole thing with it. And other people are using it for betting and
How
stuff.
did he do? Did he do well?
I don't remember how
middle of
well
the
he
pack.
did. I think it started to fall apart.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's usually how it works. Usually
My
how
memory
it works,
is
Jeffrey.
usually good for about a show.
Right.
Right after that, I'm done. So,
right.
Hey, everybody, listen, that's 1 hour down and 2 to go. We're going to come back and talk some baseball. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. T&Cs apply.
My pain is considerable, but that prescription is dangerous.
The side effects of my medicine are worse than my condition.
I'm in recovery. I can't take those pills.
When faced with a health crisis, you shouldn't have to choose between risks. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our naturopathic doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. Our naturopathic doctors can restore pain-free joint function and restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves immediate physical symptoms without having you take a bunch of pills. If traditional medicines aren't working, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
Quiet, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. He's busy getting ready for the NFL draft, working out hard, lifting weights and doing wind sprints. But we got Harris Hicks in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And all right, so we've covered the Masters. We talked about Mike Budenholzer being showed to the $50 million door.
Yep, very expensive door.
And now we see what happens next. But hey, at least we got the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks won their series with the Brewers 2-1, dropped the first game, won the next two in similar fashion. And so that's great. And coming up next, were they playing them today? No, tomorrow. Tomorrow they got the Miami Marlins, right?
Yes, the Marlins tomorrow. Yes, at 3:40.
Do they still stink, or are they good now?
The Marlins, they still, they're marlining. You could call it. They're still very stinky.
It's all right to say they stink, Harris. It's all right to say
I called them stinky.
Tennessee have a team? No, they don't.
No, we do not. No, not now at least. Potentially down the road.
Might as well be a Diamondbacks fan.
Yeah,
wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, they're good right now and a fun team to watch. So, yeah.
Big George says, how about that gritty come from behind win for the Diamondbacks Saturday, down 4-0 in the ninth inning to win it 5-4. That was pretty nice to see.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty awesome to see. I was actually at the game. And so it was a fun game to see, man. It's a good team. It's a gritty team. They don't necessarily win like the analytical style way, but those guys create chaos and run the bases. And it's a fun team to watch, man. So, yeah.
They can go cold, but God help you when they get hot.
That's right. Hey, we saw it happen. 2023 World Series run, folks. We've seen it happen.
Corbin Carroll's back to his ways.
Yes, he's back to form. He's been awesome.
He had a slump there for a while in previous year, but right now he's Corbin Carrolling, and things seem to be going all right.
Yeah. Absolutely. He had a shoulder injury last year, Jeffrey, and now Corbin Carroll is perfectly nagging. And that's hard. Like when you have a shoulder injury and you've got to swing a bat, man, that kills a lot of your power and a lot of your speed. So you're striking out as well as not being able to barrel it. Now he's fully healthy and we are seeing the benefits.
Well, Merrill Kelly's got the mound tomorrow. Against the Miami Marlins. Were they playing 3 games?
Yeah.
So yeah, go Diamondbacks. Everything is just fine with the Diamondbacks.
I would describe it as just fine, Jeffrey. Now, Merrill Kelly.
Okay, I think you need to understand something.
Yes.
We like to take it very chill.
Yeah.
About the Diamondbacks.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You may say they're one of the top 10 teams in baseball. You may say, oh my God, this team is red hot right now. Oh my God, look what they're doing with this or that, or how they're doing it.
Right.
Not here. We just be like, hey, each series is its own story. Each game is its own experience. You just hope for the best, hope they win, and you go see a good game. And if they don't, that's all right. We'll get them next time. And that is the same sort of chill sort of vibe that we took when the Diamondbacks went to the World Series.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's the way to kind of, you want to just sneak up on the success.
No expectations, no disappointments is what you're saying, Jeffrey.
But if you want to tell me how amazing they are, I think I could let you do it this one time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what I was going to talk about was Merrill Kelly.
Don't you jinx this team. That's all I'm saying. Don't you jinx this team.
Hey, I've learned my lesson. Being a sports fan for as long as I have, jinxing is a powerful tool. But I'll say this, Merrill Kelly has a 7 ERA this year. Hasn't necessarily been himself. So I'm very, very, very interested to watch this start with him, because right now, all of the talk in the offseason with the Arizona Diamondbacks was their pitching core, their pitching additions. Right now, they've been killing the ball. They've been hitting it hard, and they've been hitting it well. The question for them has been the pitching. I believe, are 10th in highest ERA in the MLB this season. So they haven't been pitching it well. A lot of that is due to Merrill Kelly this season. Can he get back on track? That's going to be a big question tomorrow. Something to watch.
Yeah, I remember Randy was all like, man, our pitching. Oh my God, our pitching. It's just amazing. We got this guy and that guy and this. And I'm just like,
we'll have to see, I guess. Yeah. Okay. The only pitcher with a below 4 ERA is Brandon Pfaadt.
Fat Brandon. Love Fat Brandon.
Yeah.
Quiet Cannon says the Arizona golfer took a leak in Rays Creek. He thought it was a river. Can you imagine if we drop a deuce? I mean, they would have brought out the hazmat team for sure.
They definitely would have. I don't know if he'd be allowed back in Augusta ever again if he
I don't
took
know.
a deuce in the on the course.
Between everybody outraged about Ballesteros' hat and you know, his whiz in the creek, I would be surprised to see him there again. But you know,
Just
go
dropping a
ASU.
squat right there in the corner. Yep, forks up. Way to represent. Way to represent.
So anyway, Diamondbacks doing great, and we'll
Mhm.
just enjoy as it goes.
That's right.
having at least one good team here in Arizona.
Yeah, at least one, man. Yeah.
Am I being too hard on the Cardinals?
No. Would I describe them these last few years as good? Absolutely not. I would describe them last year as a mediocre team, and in the last few years before that, very disappointing. So no, Jeffrey, you're not being too hard on the Cardinals.
Oh man! By the way, just remembered we got more baseball to talk about. But did everybody do their taxes? They're due tomorrow.
Yep.
Did
Tax
you do your
season.
taxes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you did for sure. Can I tell you why? Here's how I know who did their taxes and who didn't.
Okay, let's hear it.
If you had money coming to you, you filed them months ago.
Right.
If you knew you had money coming to you, you filed them the minute they handed you that W-2.
Yep.
People in other tax brackets, however, they're like, I ain't filing nothing till
I
tomorrow.
ain't filing nothing, man. Yeah.
Nope, you're gonna get my money on a slow boat to China.
Oh heck yeah.
You're gonna give it to me immediately. You're gonna go ahead and direct deposit that into my account, right? Right, federal government. Oh yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you want money? Yeah, we'll get around to it.
Mm,
It'll be there
I
at
don't
the very last moment before you get mad at me. Meaning, I'm not going to get any penalties. I'm not going to have the IRS show up at the house. But you know, you'll get your money eventually.
It'll work itself out is what that was my phrase for a while, but this is my first year being out of college and full in adulthood and actually having to worry about it and all that stuff. And it's an adjustment, Jeffrey. I have got a lot of questions.
But
and
didn't you
it's-
just get money back
what do you mean get money back?
from the taxes?
Essentially, yes. Yes,
Essentially, you either did or you didn't.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Not
It's
me.
just gonna be
You.
complicated. Yeah,
I did not get money back.
Why didn't you get money back?
I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm in a little bit of a different tax bracket.
Yes.
Right, I mean,
this is true.
I miss the days.
Yes.
I miss the days where I just get that W-2 and run down there and file it immediately to
Yep.
get the money.
Yep. There you go. Yep. You did
Oh, it's like Christmas all over again.
Yep. Yep. Having a present under the
Firefarter
tree.
says, at least you guys have the Arizona Coyotes. Am I right? You know what? You don't. What the
Firefighter.
hell, dude? You're a new texter. You don't
Firefarter.
come around here with this hurtful stuff. What is
Listen.
your deal?
Listen, firefighter, this is what I told you, I think a week ago. With great power of like a name like that comes great responsibility. And you
Although-
are abusing your
Yeah.
power.
But then again,
Okay.
you're going to get some good chirping from a firefighter. Might hurt, but okay, let's just see how he does. Let's just
Yeah.
see if there's cleverness to it.
Yeah.
He says, sorry, I know the wound is fresh. My Penguins have a disappointing season too, and my Pirates just went an entire weekend without scoring a run, and they got the lowest batting average in all of baseball at 150.
This is true.
Then why are you
Yeah.
going to be calling out the fact that we don't have a hockey team here anymore?
Oh, yeah, he's trying to tear us
Swaz man.
down to build himself up, Jeffrey. Clearly.
Yeah, you don't have to cut us off of the knees to
Yeah,
make
come
yourself
on,
feel
man.
tall.
Yeah, dude. Gosh.
Swazman says, Jeffrey, I got to pay $1,000 tomorrow to the IRS for prepaid self-employment tax for next year.
Oh gosh.
Woof.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's bad. Listen, I get it. Hell, people are like, maybe I'll file an extension.
Got to get that old
But then
extension.
that comes with interest, by the way.
Yep.
They're going to get that money now or later, and then with interest. So you
And-
may as well get
And
it
if
done
there's
right.
anything the IRS is good at, it is taking your money. They're good at that. Just
So
saying.
far, 2/3 of Americans have already filed. The rest are desperately how much is the stamping in, and trying to get down to the.
I don't know exactly.
Trying to get down to the post office to get the stamp on there and get
stamp
the
on there, yeah.
postmark so they don't
Oh
get in
my
trouble.
goodness. Yeah.
I imagine there's quite a few people listening to the show right now, like doing math badly.
Maybe some people that didn't even know, like, oh man, it's tax day, and filing immediately. But we
Who
reminded
doesn't
them-
know it's tax day?
We reminded them. There's some people, dumb people out there. My age, Jeffrey, Have you interacted with some people in my generation?
No, I try to avoid your people.
Yeah.
My wife just walked in and handed me this.
Shackalicious XL gummies.
I don't know. Are these like gummies
How
or just
many-
gummy bears?
There's no athlete that has been on more commercials and sponsorships than Shaquille O'Neal.
Why
can't
is there a cactus on there? Because he played for the Suns?
I guess.
There's a clover and then there's a truck.
Is it just in Arizona?
Green watermelon, mixed berry, and pineapple, and Shackalicious extra large gummies. Making sure there's no extra ingredients, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, this is true. You never know what you're gonna find.
If
Yeah.
I got like some gummies, this whole show is going to go into the toilet.
Oh
quick,
my
'cause
gosh.
I'll just be all mellow.
I mean, Jeffrey usual is crazy. Jeffrey on a sugar rush. Now that's probably
no,
a
the
whole
sugar rush
different-
isn't a problem. The gummies, the pot gummies, the
Oh, the
THC.
pot. Oh, the pot.
That would
gummies.
mellow me out so much that we'd have to shut down the show.
Right. It would be a one man show here.
Well, it doesn't look like these contain anything I can't have.
Yeah. You won't know until you try it, probably. You essentially won't know. I mean, you never know.
These are pretty big.
Holy crap, those are huge. Look at that, man.
Well, I did hold it up to the camera. It's not like that's not actual size.
Okay,
So
it
it's
looks.
like-
I mean, it could be like it looks as big
it's
as
still
you.
big.
It looks as big as you when you hold it up.
Oh, they're sour.
Oh no, are they sour?
I didn't see the part where it said sour.
Oh no, Jeffrey, you got to read the label. Got to
Oh,
read the
well.
label.
Oh, I can handle it.
Yeah.
If I can drink
Yeah.
whiskey, I can do this.
Oh heck yeah. Just rub some dirt on it. Wash it off with some whiskey. You'll be good. Drink some whiskey. You'll be good.
Hefty Lefty says they sound like Viagra gummies. I really should read these ingredients.
You really should. You really should, Jeffrey. I mean, Viagra gummies are probably not in the shape of a cactus or a clover, I'd imagine.
You can't have a Viagra gummy in the shape of a penis, Harris, because nobody'd ever put it in their mouth.
Oh, yeah. That's
well,
probably
nobody
true.
with a woman,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Hmm.
That's right.
I don't find these exceptional.
Are you not anything sour I don't like. I'm not a sour guy.
It's only sour at first. Then it gets sweet, but
Oh, I see. Towards the end, the aftertaste.
these aren't great.
Yeah. They don't look, they honestly
I love
don't look
gummy
too great.
bears.
Yeah.
I do love gummy bears, but these, I don't know. I'm not digging them.
Yeah, I mean, so you're a gummies guy. You're not digging that. That shows something. That must mean that it's not getting the job done whatsoever.
Get me some Haribo. I'm happy.
Yeah, Haribo is great. That is an awesome snack. That is a really good one.
Sorry, everybody. Just Tip says, I love that the Dodgers suffered their worst ever shutout loss in the history of the team recently.
Ooh, that was
16-0 to the Cubs. Oh, I love it as well.
Oh, it was, yeah.
I
It
love
was-
every single bit of that.
It was
to be
violent.
honest.
The Dodgers have been cold lately. I don't know if you've
Mhm.
seen them. They have
I love that too.
struggled. Yeah.
I love all of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But listen, and I saw them getting cold, and I was like, well, this is the time to be cold if you're going to be cold. This is not necessarily the time to be red hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whatever suffering befalls the Dodgers makes me happy.
And they started out the season like red.
And
red
remember,
hot.
when the Dodgers suffer, I don't need Viagra.
No, that's right. Or Shackalicious gummies.
They're a bit sweet, and I
yeah,
a bit too much there.
Yeah.
But I feel, it was nice of my wife to give them to me.
Yeah, that is nice of her.
Firefighter says, I take them boner mints to have both Viagra and Cialis in there, and it looks like an Altoid. It's just 1 or 2 hours later, instead of having a minty fresh mouth, you got, that in your pants, and you're ready from action there, writer, sir.
Wow. Fourth dimension never ceases to amaze.
Yeah, I don't need that stuff yet.
Yeah.
But I've said on air, if I ever did, I would be very transparent and tell everybody. I would talk about it on air. Here's why. Because it's just the human body. And men, you should never be embarrassed to go to the doctor. Something ain't working, go to the doctor. Something don't
That's
feel
what they're
right,
for.
go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Don't be so manly that you don't go to the doctor, because being alive is way better than not.
I am one of those types of
having a
people.
boner way better than not being able to. So I'm just saying, it's not your fault. And if it happens to me, it's not my fault. I'm going to listen, Harris, you haven't seen my hot wife. I have an extremely hot wife.
I have not seen her. No.
Trust me. If the equipment stopped working, the equipment would start working again, I'd do whatever it takes. I would not be embarrassed. I'd walk in there and say, I'll get all the pills you got. And just whatever you got, just put them in this bag, and then let's get this going.
Right.
I'll do whatever it takes to keep that woman happy.
You'll do whatever it takes. Exactly. It's a team. That's a team player right there.
So men, you shouldn't be like precious about it or embarrassed about it or whatever. Embarrassing is not doing anything about it.
No.
Embarrassing is living in shame.
Embarrassing is wallowing over and letting the adversity overtake you, which is not what you're doing here, Jeffrey.
I'm not doing it. Everything's still fine for me.
You're looking at this situation in the face and saying, this doesn't own me.
But the moment it goes south,
Jeffrey.
Down south, I'm heading myself to a doctor, and I'll tell you guys all about it and what I do and how it works. Because I don't know I don't know what would be the way I'd go with things,
Yeah. You never really, that's what doctors are for, though, Jeffrey.
The only thing I could think to do personally, if things started not happening down there, is make sure there's no full-length mirrors around that I'd have to see myself in.
What? Yeah. What makes you say that, Jeffrey?
I don't look like I used to. And I am a huge turnoff for me.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
Moist One says, I call first dibs post-op, but there's not going to be any op. What is wrong with you,
Moist One? Any dibs? There's not going to be any of that.
I personally will not be transitioning. And it's okay if someone else is, but I'm not.
Right.
Beer Bob says, no, Jeffrey, I think you're doing it right. When you get a tax return from the government, that means you basically gave the government a loan of your money for a year. That sucks. We try to do it where we get a little no money back. So we get to keep our hard-earned money throughout the year. We do the same thing here, except for you have to pay quarterly taxes for certain reasons. It's probably best to make sure your math is right. So yeah, like you said, you're not giving them any of your money as you go. So you always try to balance it out just right where you don't owe them, but they don't owe you.
That's right. That's right.
Abe Froman says, hey, do what I do. Don't ever file your taxes. The IRS has been depleted of workers thanks to Trump. So I doubt they're going to be coming after us anytime soon.
Well, you just said that on, you just said that also on the air. So you exposed yourself.
You realize Abe Froman is not his real name.
Oh, yeah.
So nobody on the text line uses their real name.
Well,
and he's right. Trump fired a bunch of people there. So there's not going to be. Here's the thing. They're not going to be coming after rich people, but I guarantee the computer is going to come after us.
This is true. And
Caesar
one big
will get
computer,
what is his.
Like Karen's wife, like Plankton's wife from SpongeBob. It's going to look just like that and come after us.
Exactly.
Yep.
Firefighter says, the only problem with them mints is that the next day I still have action going on. Takes 48 hours to get out of my system. Maybe you should cut one of those in half, Firefighter.
Yeah.
Maybe you should see a doctor instead of getting a online prescription where the doctor doesn't actually care about you.
Yeah.
Go see an actual doctor and get something that actually is appropriate for your pants.
Right. Yeah. We can't be having that in the work office. I
don't want to talk about this.
Not
anymore,
a laughing matter. Yeah.
Let's not talk about this anymore.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move
on.
Although
it's useful in a meeting if you want to like point to things on the. Well, here you see where sales are up, and then everything's up right now. But anyway,
well, Jeffrey, in 9th grade, I remember someone went up and did a presentation. Let's just say he was a little bit excited, and the whole class saw it.
Wow.
It was really bad. But hey, like you said, he had the point, so it was like you could say a massive advantage.
If only it was a laser attached to it.
Yeah.
Moist One says, got one of those pills stuck in my throat, and I've had a stiff neck for weeks.
Oh, my gosh.
Shecky Green, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, he's full of them.
Firefighter says, hey, now, that doctor from 4 Hymns seemed really concerned about my condition. Uh-huh. Yeah, go to a real doctor, Firefighter.
Yeah.
All right, no more of this talk. I want to take a break. We'll come back and pick up where we were. Talking baseball. The thing you usually think about so you can last longer. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
You look amazing. What have you been doing?
You've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No a doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelty can help provide you with semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less.
How do I get started with Zelty?
Just send them a text.
Text MAJOR to 200-300 to get started today with Zelty to see if you're eligible. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text MAJOR to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text MAJOR to 200-300. MAJOR to 200-300.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Let's say you've got questions. You're looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Well, Harmon Solar has the answers. Hi, I'm Jeffrey O'Brien, and listen, there's a couple of ways you can go here. One, visit harmonsolar.com, browse around, because right across the page, they got links to all sorts of great information, like frequently asked questions, equipment, tax credits, even testimonials. Or just give them a call. 800-281-3189. Ask them directly. They'd love to hear from you. That's 800-281-3189. Or just go to harmonsolar.com.
It's money time for the NFL. Free agent money.
The money is obscene.
The free agent period is about to start, and some big names are looking to make a deal. Who will rake it in? Who will get turned away?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Which teams are buying and which teams are sitting on the sideline? We're all over the free agency scene. We're 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, your home for the NFL.
Big Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. I just found out something from my wife. She came in and collected the Shaq's triple X. Yes, extra large gummies. She says, no. They're just regular gummies, and I was like, yeah, I figured that out.
Right.
And she says, Shaq's just selling stuff all over the place. I was like, yeah. She says, like Dolly Parton too. I was like, what? Dolly Parton's got cornbread.
Really?
What?
Interesting.
She says also pancakes, and I'm like, well, that makes sense.
That makes sense. That's on brand. Yeah.
The shape, yeah. But I love making pancakes. I use the Bisquick, the blue box of Bisquick.
Really?
And that's the good stuff. You gotta just don't add too much water, and then they come up nice and poofy. I wouldn't mind trying to make some Dolly Parton pancakes.
That sounds good. Making me hungry as you're talking about it.
Just to see if they're any good.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like they could be. I mean, it sounds like it'd be very good.
You would think she'd sell balloons.
Why is that?
Slow-Mo Zoe says, bad thing about the Diamondbacks, they play in the toughest division. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, this is true.
But in the end, you got to beat the best to get there. So it doesn't matter if you play in the division or you end up playing someone else. I mean, you know how it's been for a lot of years. The Western Conference Finals were really the championship of basketball.
Yeah.
Because the East was so weak.
The whole 2010s.
So if the Diamondbacks got to play the Dodgers to try to get somewhere, that's how I see it.
So does everyone else who wants to win the World Series.
Yeah. So whatever it is, it's fine.
That's fine.
That's right. Yep.
Abe Froman says, are Dolly Parton pancakes a euphemism for her? Okay, I'm not going to read that. That's very mean. And you don't know that about her. Let's see here. Triple
Thank
H.
you, Jeffrey. Very kind.
Oh, you're Triple H.
Yes. Yes.
I almost
Yes,
read the
that's
text you
me.
just sent me. I
That's
told
me.
him, off the air, I told Harris, I'm like, hey, when you got a news story or something, don't send it to my personal phone. Send it over to the text line.
And that's what I did, Jeffrey.
Yeah, but I got to get used to who the hell you are.
Maybe I should make my name.
Why
like
did you?
something
Why did
really
you send me a
obscene.
picture of? Because Ken Griffey Jr. took the picture of Rory
Yep.
weeping like a wee girl
Yep.
after winning the Masters.
Yep. It's a very famous photo, and Ken Griffey, of all people, took it.
I might have to just change your name in the text line to Harris, so
I
I
might
know
change it, or I could change it to something like really that
you can't
wouldn't
change
know.
nothing. You got no access.
Maybe I change it to like Moist One 2.
That'd be too confusing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's the goal, though, Jeffrey. That's the goal.
Kiss the Cook says Dolly Parton pancakes, are they extra fluffy? See, that's the thing. I've got to get a box.
I'd imagine they would be. Why
now
wouldn't
that
they
I know
be?
this
It's
is the
Dolly Parton.
thing, we got to get a box.
We do. We do. Yeah.
Abe Froman says it is common knowledge that Dolly Parton has fake ones. She's very proud of them. I'm not trying to be mean. Yeah, but when you add the word sagging, that's not something a woman wants to hear.
No, that is not something a woman wants to hear whatsoever.
All right.
My goodness.
Here's something you probably don't want to hear.
Okay, let's hear it.
But since we were talking about Viagra and Cialis and stuff like that.
Oh, we're back on this subject now.
No, we're not back on that subject. No, I
All
don't
right.
want to talk about that anymore.
All right. Yeah.
But this kind of combines a couple of things. Since we are Arizona sports betting station, you want to go bet, that's cool. You want to just like for fun, it's entertainment. You don't want to be a complete degenerate.
Totally.
Gambler. You don't want to do that.
100%.
I mean, if you're a degenerate gambler and now the Masters are over and you're like, well, I got to have something to bet on. The newest sport you've probably never had on your bingo card.
Yeah.
Sperm racing. Not even kidding.
Are
A startup in LA says they're launching the first sperm racing league, and they say it is not a joke. They're live streaming the first event April 25th from the Hollywood Palladium Theater in Sunset Boulevard. Tickets to go see it in person you can actually buy. They're on sale. They built a microscopic racetrack so guys can go head to head and see who's got the fastest swimmers. The track mimics the dynamics of a woman's reproductive system, so we're guessing there's no actual egg involved, but they say the point is to bring attention to fertility and to turn health into a competition because it's something you can train for like any other sport.
I am floored.
How do you train for this? Anyway, I guess
am floored.
being 15 was probably training enough for all of us. They say it's about making male fertility something people actually want to talk about, track, and improve. They say the new league will have everything other sports have, including press conferences, weigh-ins.
Yeah, we just didn't play that well today.
Play-by-play commentary, betting. Yeah, you'll be able to pick your favorite and bet on the winners.
Oh my
First rate race features competitors from UCLA and USC. Oh, it's college
No
sports.
way. There's colleges involved in this.
Yeah, so a real crosstown rivalry, but eventually they hope to
Right.
get celebrities involved. Well,
Battle
hell, just
for
get,
supremacy of LA and sperm racing.
you get Nick Cannon up against Randy White.
Oh, Randy clears.
Put your money on that. But
Randy
sperm
clears.
racing coming soon.
Maybe this is what
Maybe
Randy's
too soon.
secretly.
Oops, it was too soon.
Oh, maybe this is what Randy's been prepping for. Like he hasn't told us.
No, I don't think he knows about this yet. Don't tell him.
All right, yeah, I'm not gonna be the one. To tell
He's
him.
trying to get ready for the NFL draft.
That's right. He's got to have only one thing on his mind. He can't have distractions right now.
If you think I am making this up, go to
That
spermracing.com.
Is insane.
Just do it at the library.
you
so
imagine
You don't want that on your
being-
Google search.
Could you imagine? Yeah, being at this board meeting and say we need to think of a sport, and you think of sperm racing. What is the conversation like there? I'd love to be a fly on the wall, Jeffrey.
Gross. I'll tell you, it's gross. That's
Yeah.
what it is. It's the conversation's gross and probably enough to get anyone sent to HR. So I don't know how they got this done, but here they are.
What if it was HR coming at me? I don't know.
Heavy Metal Maniac says, next thing you know, there'll be the Sperm Olympics.
Dude, who even knows? This is absurd.
If this becomes an Olympic sport,
Oh,
I'm leaving the planet.
I love yeah, we're going to Mars. I love the Olympics, but I think that would be it for me. I'd boycott at that point. No.
There are many sports in the Olympics that are not sports,
racing,
by the way.
Jeffrey. Sperm racing.
Break dancing, Harris.
Oh my
break
gosh.
dancing.
Break dancing.
If you allowed break dancing in as a sport at the Olympics, anything is possible and stupid.
Absolutely. Break dancing. And did you see some of those dance moves? Some of them were atrocious. Some of them looked like they just got tased.
Yeah, that woman from Australia, she was she was a scam artist. But I don't want to get into that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Speaking of stupid, hey, Jose Miranda. Here's a little something for you. When you slide in the second, look over and see what the umpire is saying before you assume you're out, jump up, and then get tagged out.
Right.
Had he stayed put with his foot in the bag, looked over, made sure, he would have found out he was safe.
Yep.
Instead, old Jose Miranda of the Minnesota Twins, now he's a member of AAA St. Paul.
I saw that. Yep. It didn't take. That was it. Pulling a Javi Baez.
Happened right after the game, and they're just boom. You just go, go.
That's it.
They were so mad at him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All he had to do is look over, just kind of look over like that.
Yeah,
and he would have seen that umpire said he was safe.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't believe that. Couldn't believe that. It was I don't know how some people you just are checked out of the game, and that's
by the way.
Yeah.
Not for nothing, but the Twins did lose that game 4-0.
Yeah.
Now they're 4-11 in the season.
Yeah. What is going on?
In a continuation of losing 27 of their final 39 games of 2024, falling out of the playoff race during September. The Twins look like they're falling out of the playoff race in April. Miranda's not hitting great either.
No.
167.
No, there's a reason he got sent to AAA. It wasn't just because of that one play. Although that one play was pretty inexcusable.
That's the straw.
Yeah.
That's the straw.
Cherry on top. Yeah.
Nondescript. That's a good point. Sperm racing. How do you test for PEDs?
Dude, I didn't think of that. That is a good question.
That's probably a sport that it just doesn't matter. I don't know what PED would help that little guy go.
What PED?
And then what is the reward for this race? Non-existence, because there's no egg at the end.
Oh, just for the love of the game?
Just non-existence. They're like, geez, a crusty sock would have had more dignity. Why am I on TV? Why am I on TV?
Yeah. It did on that on TV. You kidding me? What are we doing? Stop it.
Just a Tip wants to tell me what a sport is.
Oh, just a tip. Okay, let's hear it.
Although that is appropriate for he's not talking about the racing, but he's trying to talk about the Olympic. I say Olympics, there's a bunch of stuff that's not sports. He says a sport requires 4 things. Ability to play offense, ability to play defense, objective scoring, and a physical necessity. Sperm racing actually might fit this. Well, on that,
How
so
do you
here's
play
the
defense
thing.
in sperm racing?
Really, offense or defense isn't necessary because in a race, you're not, you can be the only way you can be defensive is cutting in front of somebody.
Yeah.
Offense is just being faster than somebody.
Yeah.
So the most important part that determines a sport is, can there be a definitive winner no matter what? It's not scoring. It's by a score or by a win. Or like that. Boxing was close. We were debating this, and boxing was actually close because of the fight cards. That they would have the subjective numbers and stuff. But then I said, well, but you can knock a guy out and win decisively. You can punch a guy more, and you should win decisively that way. So boxing we allowed, but if there's like figure skating is not a sport when people just hold up a number and say, just judge you that way. It's objective. So, so you're kind of right. Just a tip. It's not absolute like that. I think it's more absolute that it's not a sport that you would be judged on. He says boxing is kind of a hybrid. Right. And that's why we allowed it, because you do have the ability to outright win.
Yeah.
But I hate it when it's judged on, if it's judged on points, like they've counted up how many times you punched the guy. All right, I can see that.
Right. I mean, what they do is it's like how
but opinion holds no place in the
Yeah.
score.
Yeah. It's how many punches, it leaves so much room for rigging too as well. And so
anything can be rigged.
Yeah, anything except for golf. Golf is probably the one exception, but anything can be rigged.
You can rig golf by losing on purpose. That's about it.
True. If you have like an underscore, you can do that.
If somebody had bet on you to win and you bet on yourself to lose, all you have to do is make it look like you tried hard, but you still lose. That's easy to do in golf.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many people are trying to pull that nonsense.
Probably nobody. I mean, that's hasn't been so much of a thing. So, oh man, I don't know. I mean, boxing, would I consider it a sport? That's a good point. I probably would personally. I think a sport is a team thing. Athletics, I think that's an individual thing.
Well, like I said, I don't like for instance, the gravity sports in the Olympics.
Yeah.
But that's also a race. Whoever gets there first wins. You have a definitive outcome. But since it's all gravity, I'm just like, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
But a foot race, somebody is running and they win. That's a definitive sort of thing.
Pretty definitive.
But as far as boxing goes, there is a chance for a definitive. And if it's scored correctly, it can also be definitive based on achievement of how many times you punched a guy. So I'm giving boxing the it's a sport edge.
What about golf? You have golf as a sport.
It's funny. Just the Tip just said golf isn't a sport. Now, I have golf as a sport with an asterisk by it.
Do you?
And the reason the asterisk is there is because I feel like there's an argument to be made. Actually, no, on this, I think this is an older one where golf I have as an athletic competition, but not a sport. But we can go either way with that. That one is teeter-tottering.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, because listen, there is physical output.
Yeah.
And how you hit the ball and how you determine it, how many times it takes you to get the ball into the hole. How you control the score.
Yeah.
Other people are playing against you. It counts as a sport.
Yeah. I mean,
but
yeah.
I don't know, this riding a cart, dressing like a dork. It's a tough one for me. It is a tough one.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
and just tip playing defense. Your list of things that makes a sport are incorrect. He says, well, you have to play defense.
Who's to say you do?
That's not the definition of a sport.
No,
that's your definition, and that's fine. That's fair. But in general, no.
That would mean chess could be a sport, in which chess is not a sport. We all know that. No, it is not.
That is actually firmly under the not a sport column.
Oh, as it should be. As it should be. It requires no athletic gifts whatsoever.
So another one with a asterisk, which could be argued, we have it as an athletic competition, sort of, is archery. Archery requires ability, and if you are getting points per bullseye or wherever you shoot the arrow, we just couldn't bring ourselves to say it was a sport.
It was a sport. There's no reason other than the fact that, I honestly, that makes sense. I wouldn't consider golf, boxing. I wouldn't consider any of those sports, Jeffrey. I would consider them athletic competitions because they're individual. I think sports are teams.
You would be incorrect. Slow-Mo Zoe says, is NASCAR a sport? I mean, for the car. I mean, where did we come out on that? That might be another one where auto racing we've sort of gone back and forth on, but I don't believe. Do we have it as maybe we do. Most racing, I guess, because it's very physically demanding for the driver. But then I'm just like, but it's a car. I don't feel like it should be. I go back and forth on that.
It does take some strategy. It does take some mentals, but a
lot of physical ability too, though.
How the physical ability? How?
Have you ever driven a race car?
No, I never have driven.
Very physically demanding. It's hotter than hell.
Really?
There's a lot of stress and strain, and as you're driving, they lose weight every time they drive. There's a way. There is quite a bit to it. I mean, granted, a fat guy could do it, but it's still
like Tony Stewart
physically, mentally demanding.
Yeah. Wow.
Tony Stewart didn't used to be fat until he killed that guy.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think he ate his feelings and possibly other people.
His feelings must have been heavy.
Kiss the Cook says barrel jumping is a real man sport.
Barrel jumping.
I don't think that's a sport.
What is barrel jump?
Yeah, is that just a guy jumping barrels that are rolled at him?
I have no idea. Who could even know?
Chief Skull says when Randy's here, NASCAR is a sport, but let's be honest, it's left turns. it's not a sport. Driving in Phoenix is more of a sport.
Yeah.
Just a Tip says NASCAR is a sport. Well, even by your own definition, that's iffy.
Yeah.
But that's one thing. I say horse racing is not a sport. Well, unless it's the horse's idea.
Well,
I don't think it's fair to the horse. It's not the horse's idea. So a jockey doesn't win a race. The horse wins a race. And if the horse, it's not their idea, it's not a sport.
Right. The horse is like the car, basically. And the jockey's like the race car driver. That's how I see it.
So I say nay to the horse race.
Yeah. That real knee slapper, Jeffrey.
Just a Tip says, Jeffrey, what am I missing in my definition? It's just your definition, man. Firefighter says, isn't sex a sport? No.
You know what? Actually, he's going to get a penalty for that.
He says, why?
Yep.
Why'd you give him a penalty for that?
Gave him a penalty for it. I thought he deserved it.
You rescinded. That doesn't
rescind it.
I'm rescinding this.
What?
He says, I'm playing defense all the time when I'm making love. That makes no sense. It's nonsensical.
Wait.
It's not
Why
a
are you playing
penalty.
defense when you're making love? What does that mean? That could mean a lot of.
Did you do time in prison?
Heavy
Metal Maniac says race car driving, basic go for half of the track. Half of the race, one direction. Then for the other half of the race to go back the other direction.
I mean,
I don't even know what you're saying,
telling
but I
us
agree.
what NASCAR is. I think I don't know what he's talking about.
Quiet Cannon says, Jeffrey, you need to learn the game of golf and then play it competitively. It is a sport.
Golf is the hardest athletic, whatever you want to call it. Probably the hardest sport, if you want to call it a sport, in the world. I would say
it's not a sport, but I understand what you're saying.
Competition. It's freaking hard.
Chief Skull says Harris can't be getting power hungry on the old whistle there. No, I know. I'll keep him in check.
Yeah. I am to be kept in check.
You wait till you hear a pun, like a so bad pun. That's more what these penalties are for.
Okay.
Not just somebody saying something you don't like.
And when I say the F word as well.
You don't say the F word, you're going to get fired.
Yeah.
Which F word are you talking about? Don't say it.
I'm not saying it.
Don't say it out loud.
I'm not saying it out loud.
If it's the one about a certain fact,
that's what I'm talking about.
You won't be fired, but you'll be penalized.
I will be penalized, which is you could say worse. We don't want to be penalized.
Do not say worse. Whatever you do, don't say worse. Heavy Metal Maniac says they all go left during the race. Make them half the race where they have to go right. I mean, like they stop and turn around, and go the other direction. Or do you just, after a certain lap, you have to go the other direction?
We got to turn around.
Even when the other guys are still behind you going the other, like head-ons and stuff.
The wrecks that would happen.
You'd have everybody up the right side and people down at the bottom, people at the top. That actually is interesting. I mean, it's very dangerous. Someone will be killed immediately. But
I mean, you'd have a red light, maybe a red light, and then take a U-turn, or just no red light.
Could be fun in a video game.
That would be fun in a video game, man.
Not in real life. But in a video
real life, I mean, it would be interesting to watch, but not in real life. I'd say that.
All right, we're late for a break. I'm supposed to be talking baseball. I still have more of that coming. So let's just pick it up when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. Your lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh, did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey guys, Jeffrey O'Brien here. Did you know Harman Solar has gone super high tech? There's an amazing tool at harmansolar.com that'll give you an instant ballpark solar estimate using satellites from space. You just type in a little information, and within seconds, you'll have an idea of just how little money it takes to save big on that monthly electric bill. I did it, and within seconds, they measured my roof and calculated my savings. It's very impressive. Go to harmansolar.com and give it a try yourself. That's harmansolar.com.
Water is Arizona's most valuable resource. And for over a century, Phoenix has led the way in providing reliable water services. Wherever you call home in Arizona, we all share the responsibility to conserve for tomorrow. Watch your water use, especially outdoors. Consider desert-friendly landscaping and water-saving appliances. Together, small changes can make a big difference. Learn more at phoenix.gov/water and help secure Arizona's water future. This message is sponsored by the City of Phoenix Water Services Department.
1580 The Fanatic.
And at 1580thefanatic.com.
Your home for sports.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Trying to talk baseball, but we accidentally stumbled into some areas.
As we usually do, Jeffrey.
Yeah, as we do. So, Swuzman says, my dad worked for the IRS for 35 years. He's still alive and does my taxes, so obviously I'm paying correctly. So I will never be audited because all my numbers add up.
What if you're being audited by your dad secretly?
Yeah, there's worse things. But the other thing is that it could be a random audit. You never know.
Yeah, you do never know.
Keep
Could
them
be undercover.
receipts.
Yep, got it.
The Pinisher says sperm racing will end up being on the Ocho for sure.
Dude, it could. It could. Oh, the day that's televised, man.
George is lagging behind, but he says things are just fine with the Diamondbacks. They're doing good, but they are in a tough division. Padres have not lost a game at home, and they're in first place. Dodgers are dodgering, and Giants are overachieving. Prayers for the Rockies and their fans. They're going to be punching bag of the division.
Oh, yeah. At least, I mean, look, if the Diamondbacks lose, just watch a Rockies game and say, yeah, it could be worse.
Can always be worse.
Yep.
Swave Dave says, what that guy saying about barrel jumping? Did he mean like Donkey Kong? I don't know. I guess.
I don't know what the fuss with barrel jumping is, Jeffrey.
Kiss the Cook says, look up barrel jumping, Triple H.
Looking it up.
Google away.
Got
Chief Skull says, if they raced in reverse, it would be more of a sport. It's still not a sport, but more interesting. I'll tell you that much.
This is this NASCAR? Is this sperm racing? What are they talking about here?
I hope we're still talking about
baseball.
NASCAR,
yeah.
When it comes to the, remember we said like let's say it's a 500 lap, which I know they're not 500. Let's just pretend 500 lap race. At lap 250, you go through the pit, but you come out the other way, and now you're going the other way.
Right.
The race changes direction. So
I mean, talk about skill. Driving right into ongoing traffic.
Well, and knowing that somebody might be coming the other way, but they're not going into oncoming traffic. Most of the field would be up on the right, up by the wall, and then everybody that was on the bottom, would be going around the curve that way. So it's just you got to make sure if you're going to pass, there's nobody coming the other direction.
Yeah, you got to learn when to weave. You got to learn to be aware. I mean, that takes
only a video game.
Yeah.
People are just going to die if you do it anywhere else.
I'll tell you what, NASCAR 07, one of the best sports video games ever. That was my childhood right there, Jeffrey. I played that all the time. It was great.
Quiet Cannon wants to know if there's going to be Little League sperm racing. Okay, we're done here.
Nope.
We are
That
done here.
Actually, you know what?
We are no.
Yep,
You don't have the power, and that's
Oh,
not what that is.
I was gonna give him a penalty. I was
That's-
gonna do it.
You should not be allowed to fire that. You now at this moment have had 2 moments of trying to wield the power incorrectly. So now you are not allowed to blow the whistle unless I give the word.
Oh, okay.
Someday
Alrighty.
you'll get there.
Someday.
I'm not saying you'll never be allowed to blow the whistle, but your excessive use of the whistle is concerning.
Oh man, is it? Shoot.
One
Well,
of
I
these
got a
days.
little bit too happy. Got a little bit too trigger happy.
I'll tell you who wasn't happy. Mike Trout. Mike Trout was robbed.
Yeah, I saw this.
I don't care what those umps say. I wish
was.
Randy was here to get his opinion, but he
Oh,
had the
yeah.
ball in his glove. If the ball is in your gloves, here's what happened if you don't know. So the Angels are playing the Astros, them cheating Astros anyway, right?
Right.
And that's rubbed off on their fans. And this guy, Trout goes up there to catch a ball. It's in foul territory, but still, if you catch it, you're out. And so Trout's glove goes right there, perfectly placed. Ball in glove. He's coming back. This dude reaches into his glove and fights him for it, pulls it out.
I saw it. Yeah. He fought him
How
for it.
did they call that a foul ball? That was, they said, well, it was in the fan's domain. It was in Trout's glove. He made the catch. That's where the ball should have been ruled
He
dead.
should be out because he possessed it and then it was taken from him.
Some of
That's
the
what should happen.
worst umpiring I have ever seen. And they reviewed it and came up with this.
The fact that they took that much of time to review it and come back with that as well shows there's an issue with replay in sports in general, and there's an issue with officiating.
It's not even an issue with the replay. It's an issue with the officiating specifically.
Yeah.
Because human beings watched that and came up with that outcome. How in the hell do you say, you don't want to call it fan interference because he reached out to get it? Fine. But the ball should be ruled dead the minute it's in the glove. If somebody has to reach in and pull it out, he had it.
Yeah.
Simply had it.
He did. Yeah, the fan was super apologetic. I saw they met afterwards, and that was at least pretty cool. But man, yeah, that's on the officials. You gotta see that and call it and understand that he possessed it. It's not like the fan caught it over him. No, Trout had it in his glove, Jeffrey, and then it was taken.
Yeah.
There's a big discrepancy there.
I'm not even going to get that mad at the fan. You can tell he realized, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
and he felt bad about it.
He did.
And but for the umpires to make that as the decision, you're right, Cool Junior. Trout got mookied. He got mookied.
Yeah, he did get mookied. Yeah, and I'm not mad at the fan either. I mean, if you see a ball coming towards you, man, like I honestly think Steve Bartman back in the day got too much hate. That's my opinion.
But he did kind of reach in the glove and kind of fought him for it for a second before he realized he shouldn't do it. So
right,
he did do a thing.
I don't think he really knew that it was him. I think he was just thinking just get
matter.
the ball. And oh, I see a glove right there fighting for it.
So what, if that was a little kid's glove, you're fighting some little kid for the ball?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
I
I think more importantly was he took a heel turn, as they say, and then realized, oh, I'm on camera. Now this guy is really mad at me. I'm sorry, didn't mean it. You meant it. You did it, but take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's the umpires.
Yeah.
Who need to be held responsible for
This is
making
true.
such a.
This
Now,
is
can
true.
you make a case for that to be the right call?
No.
Because I can't.
No, because he had it. That's the thing. Like
It was deep in his glove. It wasn't on the tip.
It was taken
It wasn't about to roll out. He had it.
Yep. And the umps, I don't know what they were thinking there. Yeah.
Ringless Joe says that's something exclusive to baseball. Fan interference can't really happen in any other sport.
No, it cannot. No, it cannot.
Well, it can happen, but usually that person's ejected and never let to be around it.
Well, yeah, I mean, in basketball, if a guy
Basketball,
strikes the
it's
court.
out of bounds. It's out of play. Everything is out of play in every sport. But if you can reach out and grab it as a baseball player, then it's still out.
Yeah.
And that's why I scream from the mountaintops. Mike Trout had the out. They should
did.
have never called it the way
Yeah,
they
it
did.
should have never called it. You're right, Jeffrey. You're right. Yep.
So here's something I don't understand.
Okay, let's hear it.
The Yankees are the most valuable sports team in baseball.
Oh, in baseball.
8.2 billion.
Yes. That makes sense.
It's the
Entirely.
first Major League Baseball team more than 8 billion. They had a 50% increase over the last year. 8.2 billion.
Wow. 50% increase. I mean, that's
Now,
what going to World Series for the first time in 15 years will do to you, I guess.
the franchise is worth $8.2 billion. That doesn't mean they're sitting on $8.2 billion. That means the team, if they sold it, could get that. How much money did they make versus their salary cap? That's the question.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that answer is.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a list pulled up. Right here. Well, the Yankee. Yeah. By the way, the least valuable MLB team is the Miami Marlins, just under $1 billion. They're the only MLB team under $1 billion worth in value.
I'll tell you who raised their rent pretty well. The Oakland Athletics, becoming the Las Vegas Athletics.
Yeah.
When they do that in 2028 or 29, whenever they finish that stadium, well, they saw their franchise increase 50%, year over year, 1.8 billion.
Just by that, I don't know if you saw the other day, Seiya Suzuki had to go to the bathroom in their minor league field, and he had to run across the entire field to go to the bathroom.
We talked about this already, dude. Remember
we did talk about it briefly, but it is a crazy thing that is happening.
As much as you can talk about it, Harris, is briefly. How deep did you want to get into this?
I guess now that I think about it,
the field to go to the bathroom.
By the way, the Yankees made $657 million last year in terms of revenue.
How much?
$657 million.
How much did they pay for players?
I don't have that payroll right in front of me.
I think $400 million.
Yeah, it had to have been like 330, something like that. Very good amount. Very good amount.
I think I'm losing my voice.
Oh, man.
All right, listen, everybody. That is 2 hours down and one more to go. Come on back. We got this and football to talk about. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. Your lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh. Did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hungry for something exciting? Then come experience what's new at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse with 2 Valley locations. No one does Asian-inspired cuisine better or more authentic than Kasai, where talented Teppanyaki chefs create the food, the fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse, it isn't just dinner, it's dinnertainment. A memorable dining experience where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's the perfect choice for celebrations, date nights, or a night on the town. Choose from over 30 different items and combinations of teppanyaki, Asian fusion, and innovative sushi. Happy hour is always on fire with their daily specials. Try their new $12 bar menu items, Wagyu beef and Mongolian pork sliders, chicken or beef satay, and 3 delicious flavors of chicken karaage. 2025 is on fire at Kasai with 2 locations, Scottsdale Road and Thunderbird, and now open in Peoria at the 101 in Northern. Go to KasaiTeppen.com. That's KASAI Teppen.com or search Kasai on your mobile phone.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. T&Cs apply.
Start a promising career in law enforcement with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. As an MCSO detention officer, you'll play a critical role in ensuring public safety for the 4th largest county in the United States. You'll also gain experience that can lead to a role on specialized teams like jail intelligence or special response, a leadership track, or a career as a recruit training officer. Every path comes with unlimited potential. Learn more at jobs.mcso.org. Honor the law. Serve the people. Sponsored by the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts.
Fentanyl is often laced into illicit drugs and used to make fake versions of prescription pills. You can't see it, taste it, or smell it. Suppliers mix fentanyl into their products because it's potent and cheap, and the dealer might not even know. Keep yourself and others safe by knowing the real deal on fentanyl. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
Quiet, people, settle down. Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. And your good friend, Radio Pound, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. He's getting ready for the NFL draft, doing push-ups and sit-ups and God knows what. But Harris Hicks is in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Swave Dave says, Jeffrey, I missed you there at the end of the last hour, but tell me if you think this would be a hoot. All right. If you happen to go to championship ping pong match with a CO2 powered ping pong rifle and just barrage the players, yeah, you'd probably get ejected for that. Yeah.
I mean, isn't that PED of ping pong, you could say?
No matter what you do with a air powered anything at a match, you'd probably be arrested.
Get ejected and arrested. Yes, you would. You would.
Better idea, Dave, is you break into the facility the night before with about a million ping pongs, and you put them up in a net over the top of the ping pong table, and it have a mechanism where you hit a button and it drops all the ping pongs right as the guy serves. Now you got something. That would be hilarious, and it would make the news, and nobody get hurt.
Yep. I mean, an incredible story as well. So brilliant. Brilliant,
Thank you.
Jeffrey.
Well, no, pranking is is my thing. So.
Yeah.
Ringless Joe says Detroit Tigers will maul everyone this year. Whatever.
Who are they mauling? Exactly. Who are the Tigers?
Detroit Tigers.
Oh,
they're 9-6 right
this is
now.
the Lions guy. Oh yeah.
Hey! I'm encouraging this. At least it's not about the Lions.
That's right. He's branching out, expanding his horizons, Jeffrey.
And the Detroit Tigers, they're doing all right. They're doing okay.
They are. They're all right. They got some good young pitchers. Riley Green's good. Job's good. Hey,
they're
doing
leading
good.
the American League right now.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah, 9-6. Got a 600 percentage, and they're 5-1 at home.
600 percentage. Look at that math.
Not
Jeffrey.
as great as away. They're 4-5 on away, but
yeah.
You just lost a game, so I wouldn't be talking about mauling right after having a loss, pal.
Right, and I mean it's like you're only 0.5 games ahead of the Diamondbacks too, so it's not like Yeah. Okay, Ringless Joe. Okay.
Swave Dave says even a CO2 powered ping pong ball rifle, you would not get hurt. But I like the way you think. Well, here's the thing: might not get hurt, but carrying a rifle of any kind into any event, I feel like that's frowned upon.
Yeah.
We might want to check our legal team, but pretty sure no, you'd still be arrested.
I'm pretty sure I couldn't carry that into the show.
Abe Froman says, "Hey,
There's no
question
way.
for that Detroit ringless guy: how are the Detroit Red Wings doing?"
The Detroit Red Wings.
I feel like it must be bad since you're asking. I feel like that's a taunt. I'm gonna guess it's a taunt.
Oh, that's definitely gonna be a taunt, I would assume. Yeah. The Red Wings I am looking up the standings to see there's 37-35. In the Atlantic Division of the East, they are 6th. Sitting very mediocre, below average out of 8 teams. Not very good, Jeffrey. It is a taunt. Indeed.
By all means, do taunt.
Do taunt. We are pro taunt.
Chosen One says, as a golfer, I wish I had fans around the course so there'd be fan interference keeping my ball inbounds. Well, that would be great.
There is fan. Yeah. One just kicks it over like a human shield of fans, potentially.
Yeah.
That would be fan interference, right?
You just sent me something
That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
What's dumb?
Colorado will be retiring the numbers 2 and 12 in honor of Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter because of that championship they won.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because of
the Alamo
records,
Bowl loss.
because
Right.
of the records those guys broke.
Right. Yeah.
That is the dumbest thing ever. They're not even drafted yet. They haven't played one snap in the NFL. Their college career they were impressive players, but jersey retirement.
What did they have, a 500 record at Colorado? I want to say, like, I get it. Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, good players, but retiring jerseys. This is no like Joe Schmo. Colorado's
Well,
got a history.
They did go
Jeffrey.
from 1-11 in 2022
to 5-7
to 9-4
4-8 to 9-4. It's a really good improvement.
But
jersey retirement.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Colorado's got some history, man. They've won national championships. Back in the 90s, they were running things.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't your random program here. So,
by the way, Ringless Joe says, speaking of championships, the Red Wings may be out of it this year, but they do have the most titles of any American hockey team. He's not wrong.
Yeah, he's not wrong. I mean,
but again, I'm just glad
Maple
it's
Leafs.
another thing not about the Lions.
Right. Again, expanding his horizons. We like it, Ringless Joe. We're here for it.
888-368-1580. You know what we're on to right now?
What are we on to?
We're on to football.
Yes. Let's do it. Let's do it, Jeffrey.
We always try to get to this point in any
Yeah.
show. We don't always get here because
No.
we get easily distracted and, people want to talk about, I don't know,
Sperm
things.
racing.
I really don't want to talk about that anymore.
No,
Um,
no, not at all.
So, everybody was pretty happy when we heard that Calais Campbell was going to come back and he was going to play. And I got to be honest, even where he is right now, that is a leader. That is somebody who's going to contribute, and he can still contribute at a good level on the field.
Yeah.
So Calais Campbell coming back is like, yes, finish your career here.
Totally.
And he can still help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Patrick Peterson, on the other hand, he's just doing a one-day contract so he can retire as a Cardinal.
Right.
See, here's the thing. He didn't read the room. You know what I mean? He didn't read the room. Now, here's the thing. He left when Steve Keim was still drinking and GMing. Okay?
Doing both at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when he left, so that was fingers in the air. He could say, "Oh, well, that was really towards him."
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It felt like it was towards the fans too. The fans, the diehards were not happy with the way he left and the way he acted and the things he continued to say even after he was no longer on the Arizona Cardinals. A lot of it just seemed ungrateful. It just seemed like he just turned the heel on the Arizona Cardinals and the fans.
Right. Well, what things, Jeffrey? See, you're talking to someone who did not grow up in Arizona. And so explain me what things was said about him.
So in 2018, he asked for a trade, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm just frustrated on it." He would say very negative things about how things were going.
Okay.
And
all right.
then he was like, "Oh, you know what? I'll stay for my contract." And then all of a sudden, he went to Minnesota. I can't remember all the specific quotes, but he was yabber-yabbering.
Yeah.
He was talking some stuff.
He's talking some stuff. Yeah.
And even after he left, he was looking over his shoulder, talking some stuff. And so I feel like he just like, you know what, you kind of burnt the bridge, or at least the welcome mat.
Yeah.
To come back here and try to retire as a Cardinal.
Yeah.
Calais Campbell left. The way he left was honorable. The way Patrick Peterson left was bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And he didn't make effort sometimes when there should have been more effort.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we noticed.
Yep.
And then he would blame everybody but himself.
Right.
So there was just kind of this, he didn't leave well.
Okay.
But he is an 8-time Pro Bowl cornerback.
He has a Hall of Fame resume.
He does have an incredible career. It's just, we're like, where was it when we needed it?
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, I'm a Colts fan, so I could give a crap, but I know that was a lot of Randy's frustration and a lot of people who listen to the show.
Right. Yeah.
In their frustration as well. So, that's the best I can remember it. Specific things, I can't remember what was said. No, maybe George is good at that sort of pettiness.
Well, Big George is a lawyer.
He's like a woman.
He can.
A little bit, because like
a woman.
He'll come back. He remembers stuff that I've said that I don't know how he retains that in his brain. He, as much as anything, as he is our lawyer, he's probably also like the show historian. He remembers stuff that I did on other radio stations in the past, like 20 years ago. He remembered me at KXAM and over at NBC and all the other places that he would listen to me on. And I didn't even know he existed until we started doing the show here. That's when he finally started interacting with us. And he would start saying, "Oh yeah, like this person." I'm like, "Whoa."
I have a question.
This guy's a stalker.
How big is he? How big is he in person?
He's 7 feet tall.
He is 7 feet tall.
I'll have to go look in a folder, but I got pictures. He came down to the studio and I took pictures of him. I wish I'd stepped in, but we have pictures of us with him too. I'd have to go and find
What,
those.
did he hit his head on the door?
No, but he probably did duck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how tall the doors are, but I mean, I got pictures of him standing there at the microphone, and I was like, yeah, he's not small.
Wow.
He's not small.
Wow.
Big George says, so I guess the moment that Keon leaves, the WNBA becomes irrelevant again. Okay. Right. Yeah. He says, I'm okay with that.
All right.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, not irrelevant, but not a focus. I mean, nothing's irrelevant. No sport, real sport. No sport is irrelevant.
Except for sperm raising.
That's not a sport.
Oh, that's good. That's a good point.
But no sport is irrelevant just because we don't talk about it. It's just sometimes it's not our focus.
Yep.
You know, I love UFC, but we don't talk about it that much.
Really?
And
You're
I got
a
a little
guy.
yeah, but then I became not because all the nonsense with Conor McGregor and all the nonsense.
Yeah. Huh, interesting.
You know the fake fighting stuff. It started to get a little WWE over there, so I took a step back.
I see. It started to get WWE. Interesting. Interesting.
The WNBA it's worth talking about. I know they're in the middle of their draft right now, and Irfan, whoever she is, she went first from USC, and they're currently drafting right now.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I won't know any of these people.
Okay.
Do you watch women's college basketball, Harris?
I casually watch it. It's on during the men's, and so not a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just not a diss.
No, we don't hate women's basketball. It's just, it's not going to be the NFL. It's not going to be college football or college basketball or the NBA.
Something happens, we'll tell you about it.
Right.
There's something that is interesting. We will tell you about it. No big deal. Do we feel like it's a sport? Yes. Do we feel like these gals have really stepped it up and they're becoming better and better? Yes. The talent is becoming better and better, and the interest is becoming better. And but yeah, it's still not a main focus, but it does deserve our respect.
Right. Yeah, sure. I mean, look, the way I see it is when you look at most profitable and most interested sports leagues, the WNBA does not necessarily pop up at the top of the list. And so we'll talk about things that is catered to the audience, you could say. Correct to say. So the NFL, the NBA, stuff that we've mentioned, baseball right now. So, yep. Again, no diss on women's basketball, but I mean, it's not something that we're going to be talking about 24/7.
Okay. I'm glad you have determined that for me. I felt
you.
like we'd already set that standard, but thanks. Kyle G says,
that's what I'm here for.
Speaking of real sports and irrelevance, have you shown Harris the sport, not a sport spreadsheet? Yeah, I think I emailed it to him. And like anything else you ever try to communicate to him through email, it was promptly ignored.
For the record, I saw it.
I don't know if that's the most current version. I got to go back and take another look.
We talked about it on the show one time. We did. I gave my sense on golf and got laughed at. And WWE, I mean, that was on strict do not talk about.
Well, it's not even but yeah, it is. No, it is. You're right.
It definitely
But it's not a sport.
No, it's not.
It's make believe.
Entertainment.
Moist one says, if the Mercury get Haley Van Lith, you may need to lock me up. So now I got to Google.
Haley Van Lith is a basketball player for TCU. She's really good.
Can I just be honest with you, Moist
Go
One?
ahead.
I'm 54 years old, and when you talk about these girls, I just see my daughter.
Oh man,
or like my daughter's friends, and I'm just like, that's a child, Moist One. Shame on you, Moist One.
And Jeffrey's a married man, and in case he hasn't told you already, smoking hot wife, as you've said. So
I don't got to tell you. You just take a look. I'm just saying. Anyways, back to what we were talking about here. Football. Patrick Peterson.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Does anybody have good memories of Patrick Peterson?
He was fun at LSU.
No.
He did a lot
I'm
of
talking
good-
Cardinal fans.
Oh, Cardinals fans.
If you're listening, do you have like positive memories, or did you get a bad taste in your mouth with him too? Because I know Randy sure did.
Yeah.
Firefighter says, I think Paige Buckers is a hottie myself. Might need to take one of those mints after watching her play. Well, she's so hot you shouldn't have to mint. And also, hopefully you're within an age range where that's not creepy. Hamilton Porter says, yeah, Patrick Peterson did a great job getting suspended for half the season my first year here. What was he suspended for? Was it PEDs?
I think PEDs for a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like 27, 16, I want to say. Yeah.
Can we talk about a guy?
Now here's a guy. Now
I didn't say now here's a guy. I said, can we talk about a guy?
Talk about a guy.
Sound like the guy more from Dateline.
Oh,
let's talk about a guy.
Yeah.
Well played for the ASU Sun Devils.
Yes.
Oh, he was a good player. Everybody liked him. Now I started to creep myself out. No, Cam Scattaboo. He's trying to get himself into the old NFL, and he went and had a visit with the Browns and the Giants. And yes, he did have a visit with the Arizona Cardinals. I think it'd be great to see him in an Arizona Cardinals jersey.
It would.
I don't know where he's going to go in this draft. Have you heard about the bet that I have with Phil?
No. Tell me more.
I've probably made a mistake.
Okay.
We were all hyped up on Cam Scattaboo. And I was like, man, this guy, I think, has really raised his draft capital when he, played in the in the bowl game and then that championship and all that. I was like, man, people are going to take notice of this guy. I'm not saying first round at all.
Yeah.
But he may go higher than a lot of people expect. And I mean, he's no Ashton Genty, but man, Scattaboo's good. He's got a lot of heart. He'd be a great player to have on your team.
Yep.
So Phil and I made a bet.
Okay, let's hear it.
Phil says he won't go before the fourth round. I said he might go before the fourth round. So here's the bet. Fourth round, if he gets taken in the fourth round, it's a wash. It's a push. But if he goes in the first, second, or third round, I win. If he goes in the fifth or sixth round, Phil wins. And whoever loses has to fill the candy dish in my office. Not that I'm hardly ever there to eat the candy, but Phil is. So, he just wants to be able to walk by my office and steal candy.
Right.
Fair enough. That's what it's there for.
Right.
So what do you think? I have made a bad bet, or is it you think it's a possibility that Cam Scattaboo goes in the third round? I'm not thinking first or second. That bet for me is based on the third.
No, I don't think you're out of this, Jeffrey. I don't think you're out of this. There is a chance that he goes third round. It would be slim, but I'm not going to sit here and say that this is a done deal that Phil has won this bet. You've got a shot here because Scattaboo, man, he had a good combine. And if he nails these interviews based on what he did in college, heck yeah, he can go third round. Absolutely. That might be where I project him to go is third or fourth.
Long as he doesn't have a helmet on when he's talking to him, because it's going to freak people out a little.
Right. I think fifth round is too late for him.
Thing he does.
Yeah. He does do that.
I was shocked to hear he doesn't have a tick, but that was just a habit from when he first started playing Pee Wee football. His helmet was a little bit too big, so he'd shake his head just to get it right. And that just became a habit, and he did it all the time. It's like a focus thing. He's like being focused. And I'm like, hey, man, can we maybe let's try to lose that so people don't think you're on the spectrum. But, whatever.
Oh, my God.
I'm sure they'll ask him about it in the interview, and he'll be like, what tick?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
So,
what? Yeah.
Hamilton Porter says, local bias. Patrick Peterson, not a bad player. Oh, no, he's talking about Scattaboo. Sorry, my bad. He says, but Scattaboo was shut down for 3.5 quarters of that Texas game. I think he'll be a second day guy. Well,
Second day would make sense.
Keep in mind, though.
Yeah.
Second day is second round, so I'd still win if he did.
Yeah, you would.
That game, you had an entire team focused on shutting him down.
Yep.
And it took him a minute to sort it out and figure it out, and with also help from the offensive coordinator, but they did figure it out, and he did go off.
He had an amazing game.
So that said, I don't think that hurts. I think that actually helps.
Yeah.
To see that there was adjustments made and he was able to make something out of it. So
listen, that's
it's a full 4 quarters, and people who are judging and scouting him know that.
Right. That is not any front seven in college football. That is probably the best front seven in all of college football that he did that against in Texas.
Yeah.
He was breaking tackles left and right. The O-line was getting kind of hit too. Like they were getting kind of beat up, and Scatterboo just would run guys over in the backfield.
Yeah. And guess what he did there? He learned.
Oh, yeah.
And he succeeded.
That performance probably took his draft stock up an entire day.
Yeah. That's 3.5 quarters of the best against you, and then you finally figuring it out and beating.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Chief Skull says, I got a great memory of Patrick Peterson when he left both of my teams. Because Chief Skull is a Vikings fan as well as a Cardinal fan.
Yeah.
Big George says, well, Patrick Peterson was on that amazing NFC Championship game with Carson Palmer that almost made it to the Super Bowl if it weren't for the damn Carolina Panthers.
I did not know this many people disliked Patrick Peterson. I had no idea.
Well, you ain't from around here.
I'm from around here.
All right, listen, we got to take a break. We'll pick it right back up when we come back. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
They say all good things come to those who wait, but not for those who wait for that next auto breakdown that could cost you thousands of dollars. I'm Danica Patrick. In the past 5 years, auto repair costs have gone up over 36%. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all. With an Endurance Auto Protection Plan, no matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done by the certified mechanic of your choice. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, and lockout services. Act now and get the benefits of our Elite Plan, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
Call 800-294-6720. 800-294-6720. 800-294-6720.
Hi, guys. Jeffrey O'Brien here. Have you ever gone to HarmonSolar.com? Well, you really need to, because everything you ever wanted to know about how solar power can save you big on your monthly electric bill is right there. It's online. Through your phone or through your computer, you can learn about tax credits, the equipment they use, look at how they do things for businesses as well as homeowners, see testimonials from happy customers, and I hear they got a pretty good podcast, too. Check it out. Go to HarmonSolar.com. That's HarmonSolar.com.
The Weekend Warriors are on the road again.
We are teaming up with the Daily Blender to bring you live continuous coverage of round 1 of the NFL Draft.
We'll broadcast live from the Spot Neighborhood Grill in Glendale on April 24th.
Join us at 3 p.m. and stay until the first round is done.
We'll bring you hard-hitting draft analysis and predictions.
Well, maybe not, Neil.
And we'll critique whatever the Cardinals do.
So join us live on April 24th, starting at 3 p.m.
at the Spot Neighborhood Grill in Glendale
for the NFL Draft Show on 1580, The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right, let's get back to this text line so we get on to the next thing. Alan Porter says, here's a question. Who's the most hated local sports athlete of all time? Wow. Boy, we would need Randy here for that. I think to say the local, most hated local. Who did? Well, DeAndre Ayton was getting a lot of guff, but I don't think we hated him. It was more just disappointed in him. Right. I don't know. Who do you think, Hamilton Porter? Harris hasn't been around here long enough to have an idea. I could say the biggest bust ever was Matt Leinart, but
Matt Leinart probably is in terms of most hated in Arizona. I'm going to try to throw out some names here. Well, does it have to be an Arizona athlete? Because Robert Horry could be mentioned.
No, not Arizona athlete, just local athlete, meaning they didn't have to be a local guy. They just had to be somebody who played here.
Oh, okay. I see. I thought it was like guy who's hated most by Arizona.
And yes, Matt Leinart was a bigger bust than Josh Rosen.
Yes, Josh Rosen was put in a terrible situation.
But he also sucked.
Yeah. I mean,
he still sucks. Or if he didn't suck, he'd still be playing.
Yeah. I mean, he was just put like.
Can I tell you what the real problem was?
Yeah.
He looked identical to a former co-host.
Did he really?
Yeah. It was unsettling.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'd find it tough to be able to succeed with that type of offense that he was working with in the Cardinals, man. It was a tough one. So I don't know.
Hamilton Porter says, not sure, but in Detroit, we really hated Grant Hill. But that was the whole Duke thing.
Yeah, a whole Duke thing. Duke, Michigan, probably.
Ringless Joe says Cardinals' best was Kurt Warner. But we didn't ask the best, Joe. We're asking for the worst. At least that guy is. Random Texture says, don't have a big fondness for Barry Bonds. But was he local? Was he at ASU?
Yeah, he was at ASU. You know what? Honestly, I would put Bradley Beal up there.
Bradley Beal's from Arizona?
Oh, I'm saying like most hated guys that played here, not that
Why
are from
hate
here.
Bradley Beal.
Just because of the trade and how much money he made. It's not that Bradley Beal should be hated. I don't think he should at all.
I think you've misunderstood the assignment here.
I think I've misunderstood. I don't know though. It seems like what he was asking for is most hated local athletes. So like guys that played here in Arizona.
I don't feel a lot of hate for Beal. I think most people's frustration is pointed towards the decision to bring him, not necessarily towards him.
Right. I don't have any hatred towards him. I just feel like the city does a little bit.
You're an outsider, Harris. You need.
I don't know, man. Here. I've lived here for 4 years.
4 years ain't long enough.
You don't
10
think?
years, you can say that. 10 years.
Okay.
You got to live here 10.
Okay.
I'm not a native. I've been here since 1984. I've been here
But you count.
40 years.
Yeah.
Feel like I can talk like somebody who's around here. But even then, I'm not a Cardinals fan. So Spencer Rattler says Moist won. He says, I didn't mind him, though.
He went to Pinnacle, but there's guys I'm sure that are more hated. You know what? Okay, now since we have the question, that might be a good one. Spencer Rattler might be that guy. He could be. Yeah.
Hamilton Porter says, you're both right. I was thinking someone that played for an Arizona team, but you can go native athlete as well.
Yeah. That's that. I caught your drift there.
Joe thinks most love athlete locally, Devin Booker, Pat Tillman, Steve Nash, Charles Barkley, Larry Fitzgerald. That's easy.
I think Pat Tillman takes
because there have to be a most hated guy.
Yeah.
Can't we just get over it?
Come on. Yeah. We don't have to anoint someone. There's no point. Pat Tillman probably takes the cake for me for most loved local athlete.
You know, I actually know for me, most hated is Pat Tillman.
For you?
Just hated the guy.
Why?
No, I'm kidding. I just wanted to see everybody else driving off the road. What the hell?
The heck?
They just had Pat's Fun Run.
I can't imagine
that thing's called.
how many people turned off the show when they heard that.
That's the kind of comedy I like. I don't even care.
Dude, that is funny.
Right
that is freaking funny. I was like, I was floored. You had me, Jeffrey.
I could have kept that going longer. I just didn't want people to really believe I felt.
I would have gone on a rant. You probably would have gotten me at my just most pissed, man.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Another day I'll do this again. You'll have forgotten this moment, and I will actually stick to it that time. You know what I'm also going to do? I'm going to own you in the argument.
Oh, about Pat Tillman being the most Your most hated athlete?
Yeah, I'll just
Stop
get
it.
into like his hair care rituals, because he had that hair,
He
and
did have that hair.
I'll just take you down.
Oh my gosh.
Hefty
You would
Lefty says Mount Rushmore of love is probably Tillman, Fitzgerald, the donor. Of course, donor. And Gonzo. Yes, you're right on Gonzo. You're right on all of them. You're right.
Gonzo's, beloved. Yeah. Would you put
Shane
Taurasi?
Doan, could he be replaced by someone? Could you make a case that instead of Shane Doan, it's Barkley?
I would say yeah, just because of how popular the Suns are. I would say Barkley.
Shane Doan the least popular on this list?
Probably. What about Taurasi?
But
She
I
has a
love
streak.
Shane Doan. We've had Shane Doan on the show. I
Have
helped
you
him get
really?
ready for a roast.
Oh, that's
and I
super
gave him
cool.
I gave him some jokes and some advice on jokes.
That's awesome.
He
He
I don't
liked
know
your
how.
advice?
I'll be honest. I don't know how he did. I forgot. Probably was like, I'm never talking to that guy again.
Did he use your advice? At least you don't know.
No,
you
no,
don't know
that's
how
why
he
I just-
did. That's
Did
right.
you not listen? I just said
That's
I did.
right. Yeah. Well, I was thinking. I was like, I don't know if you knew of anything, but yeah.
So Tillman, Fitzgerald, Donor, and Gonzo.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that if it is the but man, I feel like Barkley, again, you're gonna say, well, Barkley didn't win anything. Neither did anyone else. The
any
only
of
one
these
on that
guys.
list is Gonzo.
Yep. And Gonzo is royal.
Tillman won at life. Fitzgerald won at life and did great as a player. Shane Doan won a great player and won at life. Gonzo actually has a ring.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does. I mentioned Taurasi earlier. Would you put her up there?
No.
Yeah. He has a street.
I
named
mean, she's
after her.
great. No, you know what though? You can make a case for her though.
That's what I was saying. I was like, you could.
Even though we don't really watch the WNBA, if you look at her stats, if you look at her achievements, you almost kind of have to.
Is she up there for like most beloved Arizona athlete? No, but is she up there for like best, most accomplished Valley area athlete ever? Yes.
Yeah, most loved, then
you probably
she
go
is loved.
Tillman.
She is loved, but right.
Yeah.
Hefty Lefty says, I'm open to being corrected by a Phoenix fan, but I am not a fan of any local team. I just based off what I've heard from listening the last 7 years of this show. Big George says Shane Doan is one of the most beloved local athletes. Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Abe Froman, Sausage King of Chicago, says, I think Ron Santo, Michael Jordan, Walter Payton, Frank Thomas, most beloved Chicago athletes. Who cares, Abe? Nobody asked you.
Yeah.
Ringless Joe says Kyler Murray has left a pretty bad taste in most Cardinals fans' mouth. I don't really ever hear anything good about him.
Kyler Murray has been some ups, some downs, but overall, I would classify it as kind of like that mid-tier, like 5 out of 10 experience where you haven't gotten like a ton of like historically bad stuff, but you haven't gotten like a playoff win either, middle of the road.
Yeah, I think Kyler Murray is just gonna. He's bust light. You know what I mean?
I
He's
wouldn't
had
say
some.
that.
He's had some good times, and he's had a lot of bad times. But in general, I give him. I'd have to look at his numbers up against Carson Palmer. Palmer had
Carson
amazing
Palmer, please.
stats, but would let you down at the worst possible moment. So you'd be like, but look at the stats. Yeah, but where was he when you needed him in those moments to get to
Yeah.
the next level? And that's where he was a loser.
There are
And,
so many Arizona athletes.
And guess who else is like this? Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray in abundance. Plus, Carson Palmer had a better attitude.
Yeah. I want to say this too. Carson Palmer was at once an MVP candidate who got to the NFC Championship game.
Mhm.
Kyler Murray has not been near that level.
No, he had one good run in the season, and then
and
hasn't
then
been
lost
really
in the
done
first round
anything.
of the playoffs. Carson Palmer also
Oh.
won a Heisman.
Number one Rattlers fan. He's not an athlete. You're right, but that is a guy nobody ever liked.
Who was that? Number one.
Former Phoenix Suns owner Robert Sarver.
Oh, he's probably the most hated. Yeah, this is true. You talk about sports
Yeah.
figures. I think I think honestly, Bidwell.
Biddle's
You
making
put-
a case because there's these stories
Oh,
coming out,
man.
but you see
Yeah.
him on TV and he's like, "Hey, everybody," he seems like a nice guy.
Oh,
but then you start
NFL,
hearing
yeah.
these stories, but until you get video of him like, "I'll end you," you can't really put the two people together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a good phony, I guess.
The NFLPA reports on him are bad.
Mhm.
They're
Well, those two, yeah, those
atrocious.
two.
Yeah, like it's bad.
That's
So he's up there.
organizational bad. That's not personally
And
bad.
most hated sports figures oh man, you can't talk about most hated sports figures in the Valley without talking about Michael Bidwell. You just can't.
But you see what I'm saying though?
I
The
hear you.
NFLPA report is about the organization. It's not about Bidwell specifically. But when you hear the reports about Bidwell from former employees and things that he's done wrong and the investigations that have been there, he's an a-hole. But it's not against the law to be an a-hole.
Right.
So he might be an a-hole, and then sometimes he's nice whenever camera's on.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not illegal. Now, harassing people and being mean to them in certain ways could be against, labor law. But in general, he hasn't done anything like a Donald Sterling who said the things he said and then they took the team away from him, or a Dan Snyder who did the things he did and they took the team away from him.
Yeah.
I like how people get punished. We took the team away from him. Yeah, how much you make? About a couple billion. Okay.
Oh yeah, big punishment.
But so Bidwell, if he's done something worthy of losing the team, then by God, he should lose the team. But I mean, if all he's ever been is just kind of an a-hole, it's like wherever the line is from a-hole to illegal, that is where that'll be decided. But I don't think he as a figure is hated by the people, is he? Do people hate Bidwell?
I think so.
Think they do.
Yeah, I think they do.
Well, I've been here way longer than you. I don't feel like that's correct.
Well, I'll say this. I know people that have worked like in organizations and stuff, and it's not the best. Sometimes isn't the best, is what I'm saying. And so
let's ask the actual Cardinal fans if they have a good or a bad opinion of him. If they think that, because if they hate the guy, I can't stand him. You know what I mean? Because I'm not a Cardinals fan. You're an outsider. We really don't, we don't really have a position on this, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sir Drives a Lot says Gonzo got a hit off the greatest reliever of all time, the biggest spot in his career. Gonzo, he's up there. There's no doubt.
There's no doubt. Like, we've listed him and Tillman and Larry Fitzgerald as probably the three guys that are undisputedly up there.
Yeah, there's no conversation. It's just, is it Shane Doan? Is it another person? Is it Charles Barkley? Is it somebody else? That's the thing.
I would say Shane Doan's been there longer, but the Suns are more popular. So it's kind of a 50-50 thing.
Maybe it's our mountain and we put another head up there. Maybe there could be five. Maybe that's what you do.
Yep.
Ringless Joe says Ishbia might end up in that category soon. No, see, the guy might be making mistakes. He might be pushing a Jerry Jones sort of tactic in how he runs the team, but it's not that. I don't think that's bringing him hate. I listen, I'm glad somebody's trying.
It is nice to see somebody try. I remember Robert Sarver. Well, I don't remember it because I was young, but he traded, I think it was Joe Johnson for a bag of chips, literally pocket change. And obviously Joe Johnson ended up being as good as he did. He traded Luol Deng for cash, like cheap guy. Ishbia is at least trying. And eventually
he's spending.
Eventually that mentality will get you somewhere.
Hamilton Porter says, you don't know hate for ownership until you talk to the Lions fans about the Fords. But by the way, hated owner, how about Alex Morello, the guy who lost the Coyotes for Arizona?
Oh, shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Silver Pop says, Bidwell, an a-hole or illegal? Is he illegal? Illegal? Is he getting deported by ICE? Not that kind of illegal.
Look, I'm not going to say that Bidwell is this like a-hole. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like, the locker rooms can be like the locker rooms.
Harris,
and all that.
He is, if the stories are true.
Well, I don't know.
Silver Pop says Bidwell. Oh, I reread that. Sorry about that. Firefarter says my Pittsburgh Mount Rushmore. We're not doing this.
Yeah.
We're talking Arizona.
We're talking Arizona.
Moist One says if you're going to put Tillman up there, then you got to put Griner.
No. No.
I don't get it.
Oh, at the end. I don't even know.
Hefty Lefty says, I'm open to being corrected by a Phoenix. Oh, I already read that. What's going on with my text line? Kyle G says, the only thing I remember about Pat Peterson was him taking a crap when he wanted to leave. Don't remember any highlights. Don't remember any interviews. No community work. He was just a guy who filled a spot and then he moved on. Well, there's the memory. Aiton's Army says Joe Johnson wasn't traded. He was signed with the Hawks as a free agent. Sarver just refused to match the contract.
Right. I think it may have been Luol Deng. That was someone who they traded. Yeah, I'm gonna have to remember. But he did let Joe Johnson go and refuse to match the contract. That's true. He was very cheap there.
Big George says, I'm a Cardinals fan. I don't like the Bidwells, but I'm from Chicago, so I'm used to garbage sports owners. Jerry Reisendorf, Rocky Wirtz, Tribune Company, Ed McCaskey. Bidwell started in Chicago, and they continue that suckage in Arizona. Yeah. But say what you will, Daddy Bidwell, but the original Bidwell, he, might have been cheap. And that was one of the reasons I didn't go from the Colts to the Cardinals when they got here. I was just kind of like, they're never going to have a decent team.
Right.
And so I stuck with my Colts.
Yeah.
But he did amazing things for the African-American community. He was hiring people and including people at the time where nobody else was doing that in his organization. So you got to give him at least thumbs up for that. Now, as far as what kind of product was on the field, I think history tells you what you need to know.
Yeah.
Number one Rattlers fan says it's easy to come up with the Mount Rushmore. Everybody has those, but it's harder to come up with the ones we hate. However, I think we have another one for you. Matt Williams. I hated that guy. Why'd you hate Matt Williams?
Yeah. What about Matt Williams? I don't get it. I don't know. I mean, it's just, it's just Rattlers fan being Rattlers fan, I don't know. No idea.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know. I mean,
what is it about Rattlers fan that's being Rattlers fan?
Well,
I think you just tried to say a thing and you have nothing to back it up. I'm going to call you out on stuff like that every time. Man.
You should, man. I mean, and the encounters that I've had with Rattlers fans, it just hasn't been
Rattler fans in general.
Yes. Yeah. It hasn't been the greatest encounter, I would say.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. It just sort of rubbed me off the wrong way.
Firefighter says, but my Mount Rushmore is fun. Fred Rogers, Marine veteran, beloved children's TV show host, Jeff Goldblum. Come on, man. Oh, I didn't even read your list.
Yeah.
I didn't read your list, but Roberto Clemente and Mario Lemieux on there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't want to encourage everyone to do this.
Yeah, no, the whole chat is doing it. They're fourth dimension. They're making a fourth dimension Mount Rushmore.
This just in. Aiton's Army says, whoop, actually, I was wrong. Harris had it right. Suns did trade Joe Johnson to Atlanta. He was originally signing as a free agent. Then it turned into a sign and trade deal that Phoenix Boris Diaw back, which was a good move. Then we replaced Johnson with Raja Bell.
Yeah, so I knew it. I remembered eventually Joe
Johnson folded fast when
when
he told you were wrong, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, I it was a total guess. Gosh darn it, Jeffrey. I can't have anything, man. I can't have anything.
Yeah.
Can I do anything right?
It remains to be seen.
Oh.
Listen, we got to take a break. When we come back, we've got on this date in Big George's sports history. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
What up, fellow Gen Xers? Elizabeth Banks here. As the original Latchkey kids, we took things into our own hands, like house keys and video game controllers. And now it's time for us to do it again. Because the recommended age to get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. We're at over 6 times greater risk compared to adults under 50. So go to vaxassist.com and schedule. Gen X, this is our shot. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
They say all good things come to those who wait, but not for those who wait for that next auto breakdown that could cost you thousands of dollars. I'm Danica Patrick. In the past 5 years, auto repair costs have gone up over 36%. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all. With an Endurance Auto Protection Plan, no matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done by the certified mechanic of your choice. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, and lockout services. Act now and get the benefits of our Elite Plan, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
Call 800-294-6720. 800-294-6720. 800-294-6720.
Everybody's got a podcast these days. Comedy, politics, true crime, you name it. But how many actually teach you anything useful? Harman Solar has an entertaining podcast that is vital if you've been thinking about looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Ralph and Ben explore the intricacies of utilities, equipment, processes, and more. Their primary objective is to educate and empower you to make informed decisions on your solar journey. So increase your knowledge, not your bills. Go check it out right now. It's the Harmon Solar Podcast at harmonsolar.com.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. Your lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh. Did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. T&Cs apply.
Your home for sports. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right. So I kind of like to avoid the bad stories.
Yes, as one does.
I mean, tell me about Kyron Lacy as a player. He was looking to be one of the top wide receivers on the draft, right?
Yeah, it's tragic what happened to him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know his. I know he was at LSU. Yep. I didn't get to see him play much, but he was on a lot of lists. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And the things just went really, really bad for him. In December, he was involved in the death in a hit and run accident.
Yeah,
and he was in the middle of dealing with those charges. But they, until things settled themselves, he was still available for the draft. I'm sure it would have affected his draft order. Yeah. And then there was some sort of domestic violence situation or something where he was firing off a weapon, and his girlfriend called this this dude's scaring me. And then there was a chase, and then that ended with him taking his own life. So seemed to be quite a bit going on there,
Yeah, it's a really tragic situation because those that watch Kyron Lacy know that he was a really good football player. Like, I don't know if you saw the game last year against Ole Miss, game-winning touchdown, I think over 1,000 receiving yards. He was supposed to be a first-round pick projected. Like, this is tragic. It's a very sad story because this is obviously you're on the verge of life-changing money, and then right before all this stuff happens, and it's tragic. Very sad story, Jeff.
Tragic, but also I don't know if was he a bad guy? Because he's shooting a gun into the ground after he's arguing with somebody in his family there.
Yeah.
And he was involved in a hit and run that was, a fatality,
Yeah.
Was he a bad guy, or was just everything that happening to him just became too much? Or was there CTE involved? You know what I mean? Who knows? What got him to that point. So, but yeah, tragedy is the right word all the way around.
Yeah.
The death of the 78-year-old former Marine who died in that car crash, to the family, to Kyron Lacy himself. So yeah, what a waste.
It's it's unfortunate. I'm not going to sit here and say that he was a bad guy ultimately.
See, I'm not saying he is. I'm asking the question. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's a fair question to ask. I mean, ultimately we don't know. I mean, it seems he went through a lot and kind of went off the deep end a little bit, and the charges happened. So I feel like he may have thought in his head, you lost everything, lost this opportunity. And
well, it wasn't like a thought out thing. He was being chased by the police. And I think everything all together where he just felt like, okay, well, there's no way out. There's no way this ends well now.
So yeah, it's heartbreaking. That breaks me to hear.
Had to be something going on there,
There ultimately was maybe running with the wrong crowd and getting involved in the wrong things, and that can happen. So yeah, it's a very tragic, very unfortunate story.
Yeah, firefighter says that Lacey story. Yes, very tragic. Gone too soon. Had a very promising career ahead of him.
He was
Yep.
very good at LSU. I mean, like he had some plays, man. He was, yeah. And that offense, like that LSU team wasn't perfect, but the way they moved the ball through the air, it was because he was getting open often. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's too bad. That's a sad story there. But let's move on to the next thing. Dak Prescott, remember that hamstring issue?
Yeah.
Is it just because he's older now? But how long has it been since week 8? Because his hamstring still hasn't healed.
I don't know. Again, hamstring injuries, man, they are nagging.
Well, I know I had a torn hamstring. It was it would make it uncomfortable for me to drive. It would start to hurt.
Yeah.
Well, here's the other thing. I never stretched it once. I didn't do anything I was supposed to do to make it better.
Yeah, that's probably
because I didn't have to. I work in radio. But usually, if you're an athlete, you're working it. You're following the doctor's orders and stretching and doing what you need to do to get healed and the right thing. But it's been like over 5 months, and he's still saying, "Yeah." He's like, "It's close." He says, but he's like, "Yeah, we got these OTAs coming up." He's like, "I want to be involved, but I'm not sure if it's ready." Maybe he's just trying to get out of OTAs.
I mean, I don't know. Those hamstring injuries can just be nagging. If it were like I
like thinking he's just like, you know what? I've been in the league for a while.
Let me just
think I want to sit this one out, but I want to get in trouble. So, my hamstring. I'll be with you in a minute.
From what I've heard, it can happen more than you think. Faking injuries and all of that. I'm not saying he's doing that. Like by no means. I'm just saying it happens in the NFL. I feel more often than you may think. But anyway, hamstring injuries, though, I'll say can be nagging. I don't think this is necessarily one of those that he's trying to get out of. I think he's saying, you know what, these are just OTAs. Let me play it safe and let me make sure I'm fully healthy for the season. That's what I think.
Exactly what he is saying. So
yeah, it's my gut intuition.
You know who's happy about this?
Who?
Joe Milton III.
That's right.
He'll get some time, some reps, and
that's right. Yeah.
With the first people. So
who I declared I think a week ago that I think one day he'll eventually be the Cowboys starter.
We shall see.
Yeah.
So the Seahawks GM said a dumb thing.
Okay,
here's what he said.
All right.
Be careful when you say it's not a great quarterback draft. Why? Does the ghost of Matt Leinart pop up if you do it too many times? I mean, why do I have to be careful about saying this is not a great quarterback draft?
Yeah, I don't know.
Here's what he says. He says, I think it depends on the team, the player, the quarterback, how you're going to acquire him, where you're going to acquire him. Bringing him through the building is really about, well, we need more time. We need more answers. And we need more time with the player based on the questions. So, but I mean, John Schneider, listen, I get what you're saying. But if you just look at this talent base of what's there, in general, it's not a great quarterback draft.
Yeah, and you know what this tells me? Seattle might be taking a quarterback. That's what this takes.
Or he wants people to think that.
Yeah. This is
because
true.
Let me see here. Where are we? Well, they're at number 18, so they don't really.
Oh, anyone. There are guys that could fall to them at 18. Like this.
So you're thinking they might be setting themselves up for somebody lower that might want to grab one of those quarterbacks, trying to trade up, saying,
yeah, Shador, if he's available there. I mean, this is actually, I'm going to say this, Jeffrey. This is the most unpredictable NFL draft we've had in 10 years. Vastly unpredictable. There is a guy in Cam Ward that could go 1 overall. I could also see a world in which Cam Ward goes late first round. Like there's a lot of unpredictability in this draft. So Seattle could easily take a quarterback if it's there. He might be
let's see.
For that.
They got Sam Darnold and Drew Lock.
That they do. Yep.
Yeah, they also got Sam Howell.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. They paid Darnold a really good amount though. So taking a quarterback would be like, interesting. Maybe.
So who are they dropping if they draft a guy? Drew Lock or Sam Howell?
Good question. Probably. I mean, I'd have to guess Drew Lock, but that's going to be
wrong.
Close.
You can't have two Sams on the same team.
Oh, that's right.
Sam Howell must go.
Yeah, Sam Howell must. Then where would he go? The Colts.
You shut your face. In that case, no. Drew Lock gets dropped. That way, everyone on the team's name has to be Sam now.
Yeah. Oh, might as well go commit to the bit. At this point, you've already made it this far. Might as well commit to the bit. You know what I'm saying?
Sam, spam, spam. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1925, WGN broadcast the first fully live regular season baseball game, detailing Grover Alexander and the Chicago Cubs' defeat of the Pittsburgh Pirates on a chilly opening day, 8-2. Legendary Quinn Ryan was behind the microphone doing play-by-play from a perch on the Wrigley Field roof. Back to me, Jeffrey. So I'm too young, you're too young, but Quinn Ryan used to be known as Uncle Quinn on various radio programs for kids, like Little Orphan Annie. Now, you've probably heard of Little Orphan Annie if you've ever seen A Christmas Story, where little Ralphie from the story has his little decoder, his little Orphan Annie decoder ring.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that was a real guy back in the 1920s. So there you go. Thank you, George.
Thank you, George. As usual, always delivering with the history lesson.
Surprised that they didn't have a radio broadcast sooner than that, because radio was kind of a thing for a couple of years before that.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
They had to figure out how to get the signal from one place to another.
That's crazy.
I'm curious how they did it. If they had a broadcast receiver, or did they run a line across the street to something? I don't know.
That stuff fascinates me, and how they end up doing that. That is fascinating.
Some of the technology is exactly what we use today, and some of it is absolutely not what we use today.
That is insane. Wow. Would not have guessed that.
Mm-hmm.
Would not have guessed that.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that's the program. I think that's it. I think that's the show. I'm trying to see if there's any texts that I missed that bear mentioning. But now I'm getting blinky lights and dots.
Oh, man. Nothing there. Well,
Townsend Porter did want us to know, you don't know hatred for ownership until you talk about Lion fans in the Ford family. Really? I thought everybody liked those guys.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
See you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
AZ Preps 365, your source for all the news, info, highlights, and more. Athlete news.